Hello, everybody. Welcome to Marquee Gaming tonight, as we are at our new time here at 7 PM CST. Good to see everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all being here. Yeah, different times. Life changes happen. We gotta do different times sometimes. So, yeah, let's have some fun with our, 16 sessions now? We're on number 16 today. Here we are. Let's play some D&D. So we'll start off by introducing our players so you can know who everyone is and what's going on if you're new or whatever. Need a refresh. Starting with Rachel. Take it away.
Hi, I am Rachel, also known as Pip. You can follow all of my art stuff over at Twitter and Instagram over at Pip400Arts. Also I stream. Yeah, that's it. I stream here on this channel. Mondays. 3:30 CST. You should have seen me yesterday after Red Fair. I was just telling Ashley I was a hot mess. I was texting Mark when I thought it was her. I was pouring water in my filter, and then I left the tap open, so like a gallon of water spilled on the floor. You know, so I'm like better. We'll see how much better I am.
Good times.
It's calling Gerald. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
So that was a bad one. I missed that one for a while. Yeah, but I stream 3:30 CST. I stream art, and I'm going to work on tomorrow. We'll see what I'm doing. But you can hang out because it's really fun, and we like it. And by we, I mean everyone that hangs out have another personality.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's going to be interesting. Okay.
I don't think I can beat that intro.
All right.
I play Eleonora too. She's an ASMR warlock. She tells everyone she's a wizard. That's it. I'm done.
Perfect. With that, we'll pass it over to our second player tonight, which is Kelly.
I'm Kelly. I didn't go to Ren Fair, but I'm still not very together, but I don't have an excuse. That's it. I play, my gosh. I don't play Eleonora.
Riot the Rogue.
I'm just, I'm like, where was my brain going? I play Winnie, the monk, who's level 3 monk. And yeah, I think that's all I have to play right now. So that's it.
Alrighty. Let's see if Ashley can do her introduction tonight. Take it away.
We're off to such a good start. All right. Yep. I'm Ashley. I am Salt and Ash in the Discord Tavern. I make a lot of art and I post a lot of it on there and on socials and stuff. Yeah, I'm still alive after the Ren Fair. As the night goes on, we'll see. Luckily, I play Euphemia, a druid who is a pretty quiet character, so she should have an okay time, especially because my throat is very sore from all the dust from yesterday. So, right. But excited to be here and excited to hit the road with this gang. Perfect. So.
And finally, our last player over there in the nice orange shirt, Mike. Take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Mike, also known as Bardic Dice here on all the socials. I also stream here on Twitch with Mark and Rachie. They're players in the ending of our homebrew game, Fates United. Are coming up to the last couple sessions. They just beat one of the two big campaign big bads, so it's pretty exciting as we'll be coming into a big narrative wrap up and another fight here soon. So 3 to 4 sessions left if you want to go catch it. We stream on Fridays currently, 8:30 Central. Hopefully my job schedule allow us to wrap it up here shortly. But you can also check out our VODs on YouTube here shortly. I think tomorrow we'll get last week's session up. But yeah, don't think I got anything else to say on that one. I'm distracted now because I'm missing 2 D20s and I don't know. It makes me really sad. But so yeah, not landing the ship on that one. But today I played Davril. He is a artificer wizard wannabe, thunder gauntlet, punching wizard. So he is 3 levels currently, but he's working on it. So that's where he's at. Oh, and he's got an eye from the cult that he was grown up with, a stone eye that replaced it. He's fun.
So those are our lovely players over there. I am the Dungeon Master, Mark, and things going on this week. I don't know. You can check out YouTube and podcasts if you want to catch up on old sessions. They're there for however long they'll be there. I don't know how long, maybe forever. They're going to be there, and you can check those out. And anything else? I don't think there's anything else major going on. So that's about it. So let's get into our session tonight and get playing and see where our players go tonight as they begin their journey on the road. So we're going to start with our intro here. All right, friends, we are back and ready for our session today. I'm going to go ahead and start our music. Which one did I select for this one? That's the one I selected. Let's play it. As our players have begun their journey leaving City of Lakeside. But what happened last time is there was a investigator of the Watchlight named Edison who had shown up to speak with Euphemia about some questions of the death of her younger sister back when she was a child. During the questioning, something happened to Euphemia. She suddenly became possessed by something and attacked Edison. It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, that's for sure. And the party quickly ran upstairs, intervened in the fight, and Eleonora cast a spell to kind of help bring Euphemia back to her consciousness, her own senses. And Edison seemed very, very interested in continuing the investigation based off the information that he had learned. But they got kicked out of the Winnie's family's home, so they had to kind of spend a couple nights at an inn and wait out some time. They sort of prepped for Yellowfield, their journey. It's a 5-day journey that they have ahead of them to get out. And before leaving, they were met by Vari very early in the morning, who was quite upset because she had some of her mishap suppression devices that were at the school, the stones that were there. They were stolen during the evening. So she was quite upset, but she came and dropped off the portable device that does the same type of thing. And I believe Eleonora has that. That has a little fusor disc in it, and it can be activated to create a radius of a similar effect for a limited amount of time. Mishaps, again, for anybody who's new, that's when magic goes wild in this world, and you as viewers can influence that with your channel points by going up or down with that and make it potentially more or less likely, as we already do have one person who has redeemed all of the advantage dice once again, because that's her role. So all of you have your advantage dice from D, and
Thank
Like
you.
our 5th team member.
exactly. So you all have awoken, got your stuff ready, and we're beginning to head out of town here. It's a little later in the morning, maybe than you normally would leave, just because of, I think you had some things you had to get, but it's not super late in the morning. So a good first day of travel is ready for you. If you guys are all set to head out.
Everybody got rations. We're good.
Yes.
Do this.
Okay. So you guys will be heading up to the north part of the city, towards the north gate, as this place is gated and has walls around it due to the dangers of the forest. As you begin to head that direction, when you've traveled this road already, you've done this travel when you first came to Heaven's Reach at the start of the campaign, so you've left through this gate before. The main difference is you are going to be traveling at the fork of the road, coming up to the east instead of going west as normal. But as you all approach and start heading out, the guards kind of warn you, be careful of the forest. It will be on the side of the road as you go, and there could be dangers of things coming out of the forest to get you. So, we'll be back.
Get you like that, right?
Yep. Something got her.
Oh no.
It's fine. She'll run back out of the forest eventually.
Yeah, there's dangers in the forest as you go. So do be watchful, be careful, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Any reports, like more recent, of just any higher activity, or just kind of normal?
I mean, there's always the potential. Sometimes it's pretty random. It's not really anything we can schedule or plan for. So just be ready.
Yeah, I think we just thank them unless they had any other questions. And go forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get heading up the road. Are you guys traveling at a slow pace to kind of be more stealthy? A normal pace, which would be not necessarily stealthy? Or do you guys want to try to be like really quick and try to get through this as fast as possible, but forego stealth?
I feel like
We're on
an
the road.
average. Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys want to try and just at least stealth past the forest and then get it on, get a super fast speed afterwards once we're a little bit past it.
How long does it look like the forest goes on for?
This will be basically your whole
the-
first day is going to be along the forest.
Oh.
How would it, if we went at a slower pace, would that like really hold up our journey significantly, or it's just kind of a couple hours, give or take, type of thing?
Actually, good question.
It
Yeah.
would slow you down. You might not get quite as far today as you would normally, but you could try to make it up the next day if you want to when you're away from the forest. It's kind of up to you how you want to go about it.
And you said I went the opposite direction. When I went by the road, was it dangerous at all on my way there, or was it pretty okay
That's
on
also
the
a
road?
good question.
When you went, you did not encounter anything,
Mhm.
but there are
Okay.
definitely people who are like you would have traveled likely with a caravan, and there were guards who are with the caravan to be protection in case something did happen.
Okay. I guess I'll look at you guys and be like, what? Nothing really happened when I was there, but also there were lots of guards and things. I don't know if we want to.
Well, if we traveled at a more normal pace but kept an eye out, and would that be acceptable, or shall we just go slowly?
Cool.
Yeah. Mechanically, I'll just say so you guys know. If you go slow pace, you can use stealth. If you go normal pace, it's just normal pace. And if you go fast, you get a -5 penalty to your passive perception rolls. So.
Okay.
I'd say normal. I don't know.
I'm
I'm okay with
normal
normal.
too, but
Okay.
Normal speed? All right, so no stealth.
Guess not.
Okay.
Sweating.
If that's the consensus of the group, that's what we'll go with. Okay.
That was just in the back, leaning back anyways, like, you know I got a bad eye. It's bad eye space is the worst.
he has to walk backwards so that the good eye is.
So with your normal pace, you'll likely make it to about the fork in the road tonight on a good day of travel. That's kind of what you can expect. Maybe a little bit before that, depending on, because you got a little later start, but
Okay.
that's kind of what you expect for the evening, unless you want to push a really long day. But
Mark, quick question. A disadvantage on an ability check, doesn't that give a -5 to your passive?
possibly.
So if
Maybe.
I have disadvantage on perceptions, does that give me a permanent -5 to my passive perception? For Dav's eye?
Maybe, I don't know. Is that how that works?
Because I know if you have advantage, it sometimes does that. Gives you a +5 on the passives.
Yeah, I mean, your character sheet says 5 is your passive perception, so...
I just overrid it, minus thing the 5, because it's
Oh,
normally
okay.
10. But I was like, well, if he has disadvantage, would it technically be as a 5 passive, which I think is actually kind of fun to have.
I don't know if I'd do that. I think you can just keep
You
the
wanna
passive
keep me
as
at 10?
normal. That's
Okay.
fine.
That's fine. I was kind of seeing what you want to roll it as.
No.
Kind of see, because that's wisdom, it's almost more like you're sensing also, not just
Yeah.
seeing.
Yep, there are other senses involved with it.
Yeah.
Ah, now it's a 0.
All right, you can have a 0 passive perception.
He's stretched through life. He doesn't know what's going on.
He fell asleep a
cares?
little bit.
Okay, but you guys are traveling out on foot alongside the forest if you'd like, because you are traveling towards or beside a dangerous horse. You can roll perception rolls if you want to.
Please.
I got it 20.
Nice.
Perception 23.
Nice. Okay.
16.
23, also.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah.
12.
We're on it.
see many trees. Oh, right.
You guys are traveling along, keeping a very close eye out for everything, but still traveling quick. There's definitely noises you hear in the forest occasionally. Nothing big that you really notice. It's small things, little scurrying of creatures. You notice a normal squirrel scampering up a tree. Doesn't look strange in any way.
Nay, normal.
Woo!
There's some birds flying around occasionally as well. And there's a couple people kind of that you pass who are traveling into or back towards Lakeside as you go. But it's going pretty well this far. Nothing too crazy. What did you guys say about how long you wanted to push tonight? Did you want to push to the fork in the road to try to be away from the forest when you sleep, or? Okay,
Yeah.
that was the plan.
Yeah.
All right. So you're pushing through a little bit further than a normal day's journey, which means you're gonna do some travel at night as you go to get a little further as you get closer to the fork in the road. But this day goes on eventfully. I rolled and everything was good. So lucky you guys. The day goes by pretty uneventfully.
Forest, whatever.
You get to the fork and you kind of turn up it a little bit to get a little bit of distance between you and the forest. And there does happen to be what looks like a campsite up ahead with a little fire going. It looks like there's already somebody who's there. With the natural 20 and the 23s you both had, you can see one lone figure kind of sitting on, looks like a log next to the fire, just like poking at it up the road a little ways at the campsite. So it's up to you what you want to do with that. But
it's usually there's like multiple fires and stuff, right? Like, or fire pits. You can like set up multiple.
There's typically some multiple.
Isn't it nice out here just being out away from the city, miles and miles away from the closest person, you know?
Look at Dad, like, are you joking? I can't tell.
What? No, it's great. It's nice.
Wait, Mark, would there be any sort of, would one lone traveler be any sort of like set off alarms, or is that pretty typical in this road? Would I know?
It could be bad, it could be good. You're not sure.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like if that would be like a normal thing for me to like heard about or see on the road, or if that'd be.
Don't think you have a lot of experience with travel on the road, so you wouldn't.
We
really
ran
know.
into people last campsite we had too, which were the exterminators. Remember them?
Which ended up being a very good thing for us. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I.
And that is a good question for us that have traveled. I mean, are most of these roads, is it just regional, or are there many travelers that go from that?
There definitely can be travelers. You guys have passed people on the road. Like when you were leaving Heaven's Reach, there are people coming into Heaven's Reach. You passed somebody going to Lakeside as you were coming to, so there's somebody camped out there.
Cool.
If we get a little closer, like, does this person have like weapons on them we can see, or like equipment nearby? Like, could we get a closer look potentially and kind of see the nature of this person?
So to get close enough to see that, you'd have to be probably within like 100 feet or so to even have a chance to notice that.
Okay.
So they would likely be aware of your presence if you guys don't want to stealth up and take a look. Like, you're just walking up the road.
Sure.
So it just depends on how you want to handle this. It is dark out too. It is nighttime, remember?
Yeah.
So all of you non-dark vision people would be rolling a disadvantage, especially from a distance. And then the ones with dark vision, you have like limited range on that. So.
Right. I mean, I
guess
don't.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't know if we should. I don't want this person to think that we're sneaking up on them because
That was my.
That might
what if they got
scare them?
Yeah, what if they got nervous that, I don't know. I think maybe we could just walk up and
Who's getting
Say
nervous?
hello.
Oh, you guys see someone?
Oh, yeah, over
Yeah,
there's
head.
fire.
No, guy. I don't see it.
There's like a fire glowing.
I thought it was a firefly. My bad. Okay.
I don't know. I see
I don't
nearsighted
think-
too.
I don't think there's anything wrong with saying hello. And if we don't like the look of them, we're already having watches. I would hope.
Okay, it's 4 against 1. We're fine. Watch them be like Statram's like first apprentice or something. But still, don't gotta be mean. No reason to be worried.
If we don't make them mad, there shouldn't be a problem, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just remember to be on your best behavior.
We'll
Always
let you
there.
walk up the way.
So yeah, I think we'd go walk
We
up to
approach.
them. Yeah.
Okay, so you begin to approach. As you do approach, if you want to, you can roll a perception check to see what you spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 9.
13.
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you get close, I mean, there is like a tent that is set up there, beside the individual. It looks sort of like a man. He has a hat on. His head's down, pretty much. But on the log, there's like some sort of pole that's sort of leaned up against the log next to him, possibly a staff or some other means of defense. But that's about all you see. He looks like he's poking at the fire though with a stick. His head's down as he's doing this.
Hello there. Sir, hello.
And the individual sort of looks up, kind of looks at you. How close are you guys to him?
I guess it
far
depends
away
on when
from the
he'd
road are they?
notice. Yeah.
What,
If
like,
he looks like approachable or not.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are you in the firelight or not? That's kind of the question.
Say yes. I mean, if we're saying we're
I think-
going, I'm committing and
Okay.
I'm going.
You're
But before
committing.
I would say it's not like we're speaking from the darkness, like 100 feet
Okay.
away or anything. That's
Hello.
like creepy.
Yeah.
Also,
we were
how
trying
far
not
from the
to
road is
alarm
he?
him.
What?
So.
Is he like right on the side of the road, or is he?
Yeah,
like,
he's on the
off
side of the
a
road.
bit? Okay.
We were trying not to alarm him, so we'd walk into the.
Yeah, you guys aren't too far from the forest either, like the New Minger Woods that was there. It's
Yeah.
just turned up the road a little bit, and there's a campsite here. So there's
Okay.
like forest, so a little bit of road, and then the campsite. It's not horribly far away. But he looks at you. Oh my goodness! Hello. And you look, and there's kind of this
Yeah.
bearded individual, a leather jacket on, that you recognize as Braun from the night that you guys first came to Lakeside.
Oh.
Oh, him.
Oh boy.
How are you
Oh,
guys
wait.
doing? Followers of alcohol? yeah.
You know, yeah, it's good to see you.
A little too far from my church, if you know what I mean.
Well, that's a good point. What brings you out here? Sorry, Eleanor, I didn't mean to overstep.
Oh, you got along split. It's very nice to see you again.
Oh yeah, it's good to see all you again too. What brings you out here?
I'll hand him a flask of whatever I have on me. Probably water.
Takes a sip. I got my own flask.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, just traveling through. Pretty much done with our things here in Lakeside for a bit.
Nice. Good to hear.
Are you going from Lakeside or to?
Oh, just I like my camping, so I'm out camping.
Can I
Yeah, a little-
comment on that?
Yeah,
A
go
little
for
far
it.
away from your church, though.
Yeah, is he genuinely camping or is he lying?
Roll insight.
16.
Anybody else rolling?
So 16.
Wow, you two are twins
Hey.
tonight.
Quitting today.
16.
Wow,
14.
another 16.
I did.
Okay.
I broke the cycle. I'm sorry.
Okay.
How many
Yeah.
16s?
He definitely seems to be hiding something. All of you
What?
all of
Does it
you
look
can
like
tell
he-
too. Every one of you
Okay.
Alright.
can tell.
Alright.
Does it look like there's someone in the tent? Like, can we see?
You can't see into the
Like-
tent right now, but
Okay. I didn't know if it's like we saw movement or if there was like any.
you don't
sort of-
notice any movement at this point.
Also, what is this stick now that we're closer? Is it just like a walking stick or what is it?
He looks like he has a walking stick that is leaned up against the log. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to see if it was like a spear or some other like weird suspicious thing.
Kind of like quarter staffy if you wanted to.
Okay.
Did he have that last time we saw him?
Did not see that.
Well, traveling alone is very bold. Camping alone is very bold.
That's me.
Dangerous part
Life
of
for the
forest,
bold.
too.
Hmm?
Kind of a dangerous part of the forest, too.
I live here my whole life. I'm not afraid of that forest. I'm not in it though, so I kind of do have respect for it,
Dav goes to sit down in a log across from him. He goes, well, I mean, we're looking for a place to park these, tired legs for the day, for the night. And how about I got a couple extra rations to cook you dinner if you let us kind of sit down with y'all for the night. You, not y'all. Sorry, that's a me thing.
Sure, you guys are more than welcome to camp out here.
Start taking out like a canister to start warming up some like easy rations, just kind of seeing his reaction, just how he's gonna react from it.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, man. So I mean, it's good to see you all, though. Definitely glad you're all doing well.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy time in town, actually. Saved someone from like being buried alive. Statues came alive, tried to kill us. Fun stuff.
That's pretty crazy. Sounds great, guys. You're doing great. Real heroes.
Like
What about
looking
you?
down, letting him, do it.
Yeah, he kind of looks for a second to see if anyone else is.
Yeah, she just kind of gives him like a, you got this.
I mean, what about you? I was trying to track you guys down for a bit, have another drink and some tails, and didn't even catch you around.
Oh, you know, here and there. That's the life. Wandering around. Good times.
We know where here is. Where's there? Come on, give me some stories. I'm interested.
I mean, I like camping, you know, just hanging out.
It's like the zone of truth, like all over.
This feels like Attic trying to lie, where it's like you know he's lying, but it's just like really dumb excuses.
I love it. Just making sure I remember correctly. Is this Japnot's friend? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Well, did you bring Japnot out? I couldn't find him either. Did he leave town or something?
Oh yeah, Japnot's got all their stuff he's got to do. Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, because, you know, he said he was going to see if Kindra's around, pass my name over. You know if he ever did that?
Maybe. I don't know.
Any weirdness on that one?
I mean,
With
roll
that same
insight.
roll?
Yeah.
Or 15.
He's dodging your questions.
You alright?
Oh yeah, I'm great. Just hanging out and camping. You know me. Love my camping. Is that food ready yet, man? Come on. I'll share my drink with you if you got me some of that food.
Sorry, did we say if he was going to or from?
So,
Or he hasn't answered. Okay.
anything.
He's
Okay.
like, I love camping.
Okay.
Can
Yeah,
I'll ask
I'll give
him,
a
I
weird
guess,
look
like,
to two of them.
oh.
Yeah.
I'll look at me like, where do you usually camp? Like, where's your favorite place to camp? Out of all the places you've camped.
This spot's pretty great. Look at where nice spot, nice travelers. I ran into you. What a great spot.
Well, are you going to Yellowfield? Because we were thinking about going that way as well. Perhaps we could journey together.
Oh, you go in there tomorrow?
Maybe. Still trying to see where the wind takes us, you know, but it's on our list.
Ah. You know, there's an inn up there, up the road, about maybe a little less than a day. Pretty nice place from what I heard.
That's good to know.
What's it called?
The Drunk Swan.
Oh.
Purses her lips.
Heard this real funny story about how it got its name, because like they're kind of situated next to the river there, and apparently some people were outside and they left all their drinks out and they walked away for a little bit. The swan came up, flew up on the table and drank all their drinks and was just like passed out on the table. It was the craziest thing.
Okay.
I think it's
Lord.
fine. It's just
Oh.
that's how it got its
Okay.
name.
Doesn't sound very good.
It was a big joke to everybody.
Maybe he was like a druid that polymorphed himself or something like that. That'd be crazy, right?
That would be crazy.
That's a party story.
Yeah.
Is there any other tracks here around the campsite? Like, is it?
Are you
seems
gonna
like
go
it's just his
get up and
footprints?
look around, or are you just kind of looking in the general
No,
area?
just from where I'm at, just the general area to
Okay.
see like if there's multiple,
Okay.
or even signs of like another cup, another silver, like anything like that, like the signs of another person.
Sure, you can give me an investigation roll just for looking for any clues of other people being around.
23.
Okay. I mean, it is a
23,
campsite. It is a campsite where people probably come and go.
Oh, okay.
But there is nothing currently visible that would suggest there's another person here. It just looks like his tent. The tent's not moving except for like the wind maybe kind of shifting a little bit. There's nothing, no sounds coming from that. Just him. He's got like just his stuff for camping out. Like he's not preparing 2 canteens of drinks. Like just looks like it's just him.
Hey, how big? When we saw like the Fusar mishap devices, how big were those?
I'd say maybe like kind of like head size.
So you could put them in a bag.
You could put them in a bag, yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Interesting. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I think like. Oh, sorry.
here you go. Here's some warm rations, and since you're gonna let us park our butts here, I'm gonna set up a quick little alarm thing, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
And take out his spool of copper and pass by Eleonora, and he'll just go, I'll do my ritual, why don't you do yours? And then start setting up.
Yeah, so I think I will just be like, in a moment, Davril. And I think before I do, I'll actually be like, I think it would be wise to set up the tent first before I. So actually, I want to start setting up our camp.
Sure. I can help you.
Sure.
He probably
And-
mumbled something about Eleanor and her evening routine.
Yeah, I do have a routine that's very important. And,
All right.
but after I'm done, like, setting up the tent, I want to go into my tent and do detect magic ritual.
Okay. So
Just
Dav
so it's not
starts,
obvious I'm sitting there, like, yeah.
I would say Dav's got done first, just because setting up a tent
Yeah.
probably takes about 10 minutes or so as in itself.
Sure.
All right. We roll for mishap. It's very low right now, which is good for you guys.
That is very good.
No mishap for Dav.
Everyone's being so nice to us in chat today. It's weird.
Got some nice
Must
people
be
today.
must be a 2:00 thing that where all the
Everyone's feeling
Wait,
vengeful too. Yeah.
I was grumpy.
Yeah.
But you cast your alarm. It's all set in place.
And now is that just like on our stuff? Is it enough to cover like his stuff as well?
It's 20-foot cube, so it'd be just kind of your stuff.
right?
Yeah. Because you got 2 tents you got to do and everything. Or at least 3
Yeah.
tents, don't you? You have 3 tents, don't
Not, yeah, not including Braun.
I think-
He's gonna be.
I think
left
Winnie
out
and
of
I
this.
were sharing one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be 3.
Three.
3 tents.
Mhm.
Okay. So Eleanor's tent's up. And you kind of got your section alarmed off. All right. But anything while Eleanor is doing her ritual for anybody else?
I will just make some tea at the fire. I'm not gonna say anything. I would just like to kind of like get a good look at his coat and like, you know, does it look well worn, and where are his bags and is he watching them? Like,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, he's got his bag kind of sitting right next to him on the log.
Yeah.
You could give me an insight roll as you're watching him.
Okie doke.
Dav will try and small talk and distract him as much as he can once he's done with his alarm to help Eleanor's not attracting attention.
19.
Sure. So he's not really paying attention to his stuff, it looks like. He's just trying to chat
Okay.
with you guys, a little guarded as he talks, but yeah,
Sure.
that's about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Eleanor, you cast your ritual of detect magic. And that's up now. Let me roll mishap potential. Nope, no mishaps.
Yay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so like after I'm done in the tent, I will like I'll come out looking, I'll have made it look like I like refreshed myself a little bit too, type of thing, you know.
Okay.
And I'll go out and just kind of go join the campfire, kind of looking around to see if anything's pinging.
Sure. So yeah, you definitely see the alarm spell that's there that Dav set up. Any magic items that you have on you would go off, obviously. As the group, you're aware of those. As you approach Braun, though, you do notice that there is the magical kind of ping from his hat, his boots, and there's something underneath his shirt as well that's pinging.
Oh, okay.
It would be the hat is pinging transmutation, the boots are pinging transmutation, and the thing under the shirt is pinging abjuration.
I'm sorry, what are both of those mean? Transmutation and abjuration, I forgot.
Transmutation is
right?
turning things, and protection or some sort of protecting type thing is abjuration.
Okay. Alright. And so I'm not sensing anything like in his bag or in his tent or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I'll sit back down. And his name's, you said his name's Braun, right?
Braun, yep.
Yeah, Braun. Okay. Yeah, so as I sit down, I'll just be like, so Braun, if you're out here in the middle of the woods by yourself, you must have some sort of skill set to be able to defend yourself.
Oh yeah, I can
curious,
take care
what
of
can you do?
myself.
What can you
Handy
do?
with the quarterstaff?
I need to be.
What have you fought while you're out here in the woods?
I
What have you
tried
encountered?
not to fight things. That's the whole point. I'm not like you
don't
crazy
you
monster hunters just running at monsters. I try to stay away from them if I can.
Oh, true. So it's a matter of outrunning them when you see them.
Well, it's just avoiding them, trying not to run into them.
True.
Have you
If I-
seen
if
anything
I gotta
really
fight, I'll
scary
fight.
when you've been out here?
No, but I've heard some crazy noises from the woods before.
Ooh.
Like recently?
Not tonight.
That's good. Have you been down through the path of the woods on the way to Heaven's Reach? We saw some horrid things there. I'm sure Japnon told you all about it.
Yeah, that's not a way to go. It shouldn't go that way. I mean, I heard you guys went that way, though. That's impressive. You guys are definitely, I mean, you're the monster hunters, so...
Well, Japnut was wanting speed also, so
Yeah.
escorting him.
Do you think he would go that way again, or do you think that he learned his lesson?
I mean, after what he went through, he may not think he's the luckiest person 2 times in a row, you know? So...
True. So really, where are you going? Where are you headed?
I'm
tell
camping.
us.
That's what I'm doing.
Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Maybe.
What else do you like to do when you're camping? Like, do you just sit here and enjoy the view, or like, how do you pass the time?
Yeah, I mean, look up at the stars. Look how nice they are. Look at the fire, the crackling. Get some meats and roasting it over the fire. Delicious.
Do you go in the woods to get it?
Why would I go in the woods? No. I bring stuff from town.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Usually, I mean, a lot of times when people camp, they just, especially if you're out here for a while, go find your own food.
I hear the new kids call it glamping these days, bringing, too much easy stuff out to the campfire.
I mean, I have you guys bringing me food tonight, so I don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I'd be careful, though. Last time we were at a campfire with some friends, let me tell you, this abomination of a thing came up on us. Sewn together, took us out in one hit, easy. Got lucky we had some friends there, to be honest. I'm sure Jap told you
We were
about
in
that,
the
right?
woods, though.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard about that.
Yeah, it was wild. Haven't heard much about that kind of stuff around here, have you? Little rumors or anything?
I hear about people dying when they go in the woods, that's for sure.
No, but nothing like, sewn together monsters. I mean, I feel like someone would hear something about that eventually.
Well, that's the thing, is like, if you go in the woods and you die, you can't really tell your story, so.
Oh, survivors.
Which is true.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, it's great to catch up with you guys, but maybe I should head off to bed.
Oh, it's so early.
Sure, if you want me to stay up later, I can. You guys are traveling on to Yellowfield, right? So.
He'll pull out, I think he's got dice. Like, hey, you want to play?
I'm sure if you want to. I'm up for whatever.
Just doing a couple dice games with him.
Okay.
See how long he's not being fidgety.
Yeah, we'll just play some games with you. Anybody else do anything?
Honestly, I think I would head to bed.
Me too. I'm like,
Sure.
I don't need
I'll
to.
take first watch. I got it. Me and Braun got first watch.
Sounds good.
All right.
I do, when I'm in the tent, I will message Cantrip Davril. Because no one else can hear that, yeah. And I'll just say, I don't think he has the fusel on him. Just some things. Boots. A necklace. That's magical. A hat.
How do I have to respond to that? Is it out loud?
It's a
I
whisper.
think he has to whisper, yeah, so you probably can't respond.
They probably, as they're just talking, will be like, didn't even think about it. That's a roll. Kind of like switch back into conversation with like him, even though he's like half responding.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good move. I didn't even think about it. Anyways, yeah, if you're trying to get to bed here, I don't want to keep up too much later. Good seeing you though, man.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of people want to hang out too much.
Yep. Great seeing you again too. Definitely won't forget you guys.
He kind of just leans in and is like, look, I'm a little newer to this Monster Hunter gig and trying my best to get up with the fancy people and all that, but look, if you got any in work for me to get some extra gold or anything, if you know anyone, just look out for me, all right? I feel like we got some kinship going on. I'm trying to find something.
I mean, if I find something, I can let you know.
I'm good for it. You know how it is with the eye now, and just hard to find work these days. Just trying to get ahead.
Sorry to hear that.
You're good. You're a good person. Just want to throw it out there. But yeah, I'm just gonna take first watch. I mean, if you want to stay up with me, or if I want to get to bed, I'll keep one eye out at least.
Sure, man. Enjoy
never
your
gets
watch. And he'll get up and grab his stuff and kind of head into his tent.
Is this all this? Could have this been a short rest? Considered a short rest?
Yeah. Get down a short rest.
I'm gonna switch my armor over to the infiltrator version.
Is that a long rest or a short rest thing?
Short rest? I just looked it up.
Okay.
I'm double checking it.
I thought that was after a long rest thing, but you can double check that.
Arcane armor model. You can change it whenever you finish a short and long rest.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Just kind of tinkering with it and putting the gem from on top, kind of around to the middle on the side, and kind of unhooking it from his ankles and boots so he doesn't squeak while he's walking.
Sounds good.
Help give him good base when he punches.
Yeah. Roll me a perception roll for your watch.
I will use the advantage die.
Right away. Okay.
Yep, that's an 11. It's better than what I had. I had a natural one.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Raphael.
So you keep an eye out for anything, listening. You definitely hear some strange noises coming from the forest occasionally. Just like this weird sort of like almost bark, but also kind of like a yipping sound. Like it's kind of weird. Maybe coyotes or I don't know. Who knows what it is in the woods. But nothing seems to approach your fire. It's pretty quiet otherwise. You can pass it on to whoever you'd like to. Watch number 2.
Would
I
it
can do it since
be
I
considered odd to, if he just seems like he's walking the perimeter, just to, even if he goes a couple feet out, just to see if there's any tracks leading from the back of Braun's tent?
Are you gonna check? Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of walking past us. He's gonna go and check a perimeter, maybe act like he's going to the bathroom, and then go wake up Winnie.
Okay. You don't notice anything. You hear a little bit of snoring inside the tent.
Okay, cool. Making sure he's not heading out the back, going after some lookout or something like that.
Nope. He seems to be asleep in his tent.
Cool. I'll wake up Winnie then.
Sure.
I wake up.
Perfect. You
Just
can
kind of sit and look.
roll perception.
Okay. Oh, I got another nat 20. 23.
All right.
Nice.
Sweet.
Get lucky today.
It's fairly quiet. You hear that kind of same like sounds that Dav heard.
I would have told her about it.
Yeah, some strange sounds in the forest, but nothing seems to be approaching you on the roadside. But probably something that just keeps you on edge is like watching that in the forest, double checking, but don't notice anything else.
Okay. Sorry, I'm yawning. Is it like anything? The sound, at least, like you said, like do I recognize it at all as like a identifiable creature? Or is it just like some monster? It sounds like a monster.
I mean, it could be like a coyote type thing. You're not really sure exactly what it would be, but it doesn't sound too extreme.
It doesn't like it's getting closer.
It's not like a deep bellowing growl that's like echoing out across the.
It doesn't sound like it's getting closer either. It's just kind of out and
just occasionally hear a few of them here and there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's all. I'm not gonna do that. I'll wake up whoever's next.
It can be me if you want, since we usually give Eleanor the early morning one.
So I can get ready.
Sure.
Yeah.
You may also roll perception.
Alrighty. That is 10.
10. Okay. Kind of keep an ear out as well for the yipping sounds that were described. You hear a couple of them. The snoring of Braun maybe keeps you up a little distracted. It's a little getting on your nerves potentially. Yes, that's going on. But
yeah,
it's pretty uneventful for you.
Uneventful otherwise. Okay. I think I would just like make more tea and sit there and keep watch.
Sure.
I am keeping a pretty good eye on his tent.
Yeah, that's good. And then you can pass it on to Eleanor if you're satisfied with that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll wake you up after a certain point.
Sounds good. Eleanor, you get up. As daybreak is slowly approaching, you can roll a perception roll as well.
You ready? Do my hair. I like to imagine I have like a little compact mirror that I like will like
for sure
painstakingly perch on something and then like style it. 7.
Okay. You're definitely distracted too. That snoring probably a little annoying.
Oh, the snoring gets on her nerves. Like,
Worse in the early morning too.
oh yeah.
Mhm. You're back on the road again too. Probably frustrated you're not in a nice environment anymore. You're camping. And-
I'm traveling further away from Shadow Rock.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah, it just kind of culminates a little bit.
But yeah, nothing really seems to come from your watch. You hear the snoring stop at one point in the tent, but probably to your relief. Yeah, sun's starting to come up.
I just wait till the others get up.
Yeah.
Unless they're sleeping in, then I will get them up.
Okay.
Sure, I would get up pretty early.
Damn. Be nervous to sleep in.
Bron crawls his way out of his tent too, shortly after his snoring stops, and kind of gets up and stretches. And good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. He's like starting to switch his gear back to the other set.
Is that Elvish?
I have no idea what that
It
was.
was a northern thing.
It's canon. Spanish is the thing here.
Yeah, don't be worried about it. Everyone's learning it.
Well,
Some dialect I've never heard of.
That would be the guy that says Spanglish and passes it off as Spanish, though.
well, good morning, everybody. Hope you all slept well.
Yes, did you?
Oh yeah, love my camping.
I don't. Let's get on a route or something.
That's unfortunate. You guys heading out soon, or?
Are you?
I'll just keep camping.
I don't know, dude. What do you guys think? Maybe we just chill out for a while, just take a break? Maybe keep
Slow
on camping
start
a bit.
today.
Yeah. No rush, right? We got no timeline.
By all means, you're welcome to
Kyle, look
stay.
at-
He's like, what are we doing? Let's get going.
I know. Oh, no,
Yeah,
like,
I'll be like,
now that we see that his bluff has been called, just feel like we should get going. Yes, we have a
you're
long
right,
ways to
you're
go.
right. Yeah.
Yes. I know you want to play dice all day, but I don't think we can.
It's not often do you get to meet a fellow parishioner of the church, you know?
Hey, start off strong.
You are a faithful servant, my friend. Faithful. All right. Well, you stay safe out here.
You too.
And for real, if you see Kendra, have not, we'll have to catch up with them.
Maybe you'll see
Let
him
'em know if they're in-
around.
Yeah, let them know if they're in Yellow Fields. We're always around.
All right.
With that too, I know Eleanor had said something about a hat. Is there any way to try and like get a good look if there's an illusion going on?
I mean, you'd have to roll an investigation roll, or if you want to do something to like detect magic or something like that, you are welcome
I'll
to.
just do investigation. I don't think he's trying to go beyond that. Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah. You don't notice anything.
I'm curious about it. That's it. If you saw any shimmers or anything.
No, you don't notice any shimmeries.
Sweet.
I don't think any of our characters are like socially blunt enough to be like, you're hiding something. Unlike,
Yeah.
I feel like with our Beacons crew, we'd be like, we noticed you're lying, so why are you lying? Like, I feel like we
Dab
would've known
100% would. He just thinks he'd get totally in trouble for it by Eleonora. And maybe even
Yeah.
me.
So I feel like too,
But-
it could be something totally like just random and illegal and like unrelated. Like I don't really know if it's any
Yeah.
of our business.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, but it's funny because I'm thinking about how
Yeah.
this goes so differently from like our old
Oh,
crew.
for sure.
Yeah,
It's just-
definitely.
You're a
Cracking me up.
demon! You're a CEO
Are you a
demon!
demon?
Yeah, he just looks like he's ready to sit and camp out. Watching the fork in the road, just kind of watching people potentially as they go by. I mean, just poking the fire, getting it built up.
Well, Braun, it was lovely to see you again. Perhaps we'll run into you in the future.
Oh yeah, maybe. You guys are amazing, so I definitely would love to see you again.
Oh, you were very kind. Yes, well, be safe out here.
You too.
Yeah, so I think we'll pack up and I will go. I don't. Yeah.
We're going, I think.
So I
Mhm.
want to get out of here. So yeah, I don't know. We're leaving.
Okay.
Scurrying around.
Just kind of watches you guys leave and just waving to you. Bye. But you guys set out on your day.
We actually, as we're leaving, can I just like check my purse and my money and stuff?
Sure.
Me too.
And roll me a investigation roll if you'd like.
Everyone do a pocket check? I would like to.
Yeah, go for it.
Come on.
And
y'all.
Investigation, you said? 17.
Well, that's not even the right dice. Oops. 12.
Okay. As far as you can tell, all your stuff is there.
I just check for like the mishap device
Yep, that's there.
and then my money.
Yep, your money's
Oh,
there.
my money looks like it's there. Okay.
Okay. I'll look at you guys and be like, what? Do you think this has to do with like Japanese rug thing?
Totally.
Something.
Kind of
What are they
feel
doing?
like he was waiting for someone, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're
Or-
probably waiting for some sort of handoff or someone to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
He was definitely elusive, but I don't know. I didn't want to poke our nose into something that's going to cause us trouble.
Especially if it's not really even, I don't know. Depending on what magical items they're actually smuggling, potentially, it may not be that big of a deal. I don't know. Not great, but not anything that we need to necessarily get involved in.
I did check to see if perhaps he was the one that stole the fusor devices, Avaris,
Mhm.
but I did not see anything. He had a
Dev has allergies.
I don't like these fields in Yellowfield, man. It's allergy Yellowfields or something.
Ragweed fields.
Got that tickle in the back of my
There's a
throat,
bit
you
of
know?
pollen in the air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He just does that for the next couple hours. It's my throat
Every time
injury,
they're
yeah.
loud, and Laura's
Yeah.
There's no stealth in it.
Yeah.
Couple
Yeah.
hours.
He's a thunder sneezer for sure.
Oh
like,
my
Yes.
gosh!
So loud.
Seriously.
I do it
I-
for like pleasure too. People at work. No, actually, quick story. I walked into work and like my coworker's up front, and I was like, "It's just us today, just us two." I opened the door, I was like, "Hi," I didn't hear anything. She's up front with the phones, and then I was like, "Shoot!" She screamed bloody murder. I swear the phone went up 3 feet and it broke as it came back down for the demo
Oh
thing.
no.
Oh no!
So down
Yeah.
will pulling our cover all to the
Oh yeah, it was great. It's coming into the game.
Perfect.
I saw that he had magical items on him. Boots, a hat, and a necklace or something on his chest. But I didn't see anything about the fusor devices, so I wondered if maybe he was fleeing that, but
Mm.
Yeah.
maybe not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Keep an eye out. I suppose. We're back this way anyway. I wonder if we'll run into them again. If they have some sort of regular operation.
Seemed like they had some established routes going on with
We may even
whoever
run
their
into them on the
connections
road.
are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would expect to almost in this area.
Where does the other road head to again?
Peer view.
Any of you guys know anything about Pure View?
Do I know anything about it? Since
You can
it's
roll a
close by?
history roll if you'd like to.
Can I?
3.
You may as well.
I don't think Dav would have gone that way. I think he said he would.
Nat 20 for a
Ooh.
23.
Whoa.
Wow.
20s today.
Yeah, no, wait, hold on. Where's my history? I got 8. Good grief, I can't do math. 8.
8, okay.
Yeah, big numbers.
Anybody else roll? I got 20 for something good. An 8. Anybody else roll?
No.
No. Okay. So with your 20, or not 20, there, Eleonora, you've definitely heard of this place. It's kind of part of that like cluster that is heavily with the Watchlight. Like the central like location is in Heaven's Reach, but that is kind of like their mountain too. It's like considered sort of like a holy site for them. So there's like the top, which is Crystal Summit, which is like kind of a very like holy site for them. And then Angel's Light and then Pier View is kind of the lowest tier of that. It's more of the commoner village, but it's typically meant for the more religious and people of that sort to live there. So that's what you've heard about it.
It's so I kind of like repeat back the information. So that's in that direction.
There'll be a lot of magic items coming from that way then.
Potentially. Also, random Mark, you said that's like a holy thing for them. Are most of them like some sort of worshippers of something?
There's definitely some people who are worshippers of stuff. Not all Watchlight are, but like that's kind of the more religious side of things are there.
Okay. So what do you mean by they consider this a holy site then? If
Like,
not the
that's-
whole thing's religious.
The people there are Watchlight's not a religious organization.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought that's what you meant.
I was hearing that wrong
Sorry,
too.
sorry. I probably misspoke.
Okay.
The Watchlight's not a religious organization. They have their headquarters in Heaven's Reach, but they do have a presence in that mountain range as well. And they sort of keep that there, but it's meant to be kind of like the religious side of it, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And there's like the arcane, and then there's like the religious side of things, and that's kind of where they have stuff established. It's more deity related, and it's sort of a holy site to that.
So the whole city is more deity related.
Yeah, that's sort of like the lowest tier of the three. Pure View would be. That's definitely more commoners are there than like Crystal Summit. Sort of is an exclusive thing. That's not a place that just anybody can go. Typically, that's sort of like a holy site almost. But Pure View is probably the most welcoming for anybody to go through.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just repeat all that.
Would Crystal Summit have any relations or any history with up there in Ice Wall with them and the cult?
No.
With their stone?
They're not connected that way.
I didn't think so. Okay, cool.
So, I don't know. Perhaps he's headed that way or waiting for someone that way. Perhaps it is someone from Yellowfield. We'll run into them on the road. I suppose we could keep an eye out.
Especially if they said things were destroyed in Northport. Come down through Yellowfield as well.
That was my thought. Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go there.
Really? Yeah.
Sorry, Winifred?
Have we heard anything about where Japnot is? He could be waiting for him somewhere, or message from him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I've tried to ask him like 3 times. No clue. Bartender seems to be covering for them too. Or at least covering or not, no.
I don't know if we'd heard from anything about him before we even left, but I don't think I did.
No.
Dav kind of tried to dig at the tavern and hadn't heard anything.
That's right.
Seemed like he's got a good reputation here enough where no one's looking to. If he is into anything nefarious that they're gonna say anything. Seem pretty private people here for the most part.
I suppose all that is to be done is to just keep an eye out and see if there's anything we need to interfere in or not.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm used to having the not so well lived, and he kind of like puts a hand out towards Eleonora, and those folk at the bar a little bit more gossipy than usual, but not here in Lakeside.
Well, that's good to know, at least for the future.
So, I mean, do you have like a lot of gossip circles in like the Richie Rich world?
Oh, yes. Oh. But you just have to look like you're not gossiping. That's the trick to it. Just be like, oh, I'm so concerned for this person because... And then you gossip, you know? It's that sort of thing.
I have to study that. All right.
He's at a party, like, taking notes. Like, how do they do this?
He reads it off of the thing. I'm concerned about this.
I am so concerned. So tell me about this.
Yeah, I think that's halfway through.
It's like smudged on his hand. He like can't read it.
Yeah, it's like...
I'm cornered about what?
Never mind.
The terrain out here, Mark, we're moving away from the woods, correct? Is it just like fields and stuff, or?
It's definitely a lot more open. There's, I mean, the occasional rolling plains, but it's pretty open for the most part as you're going.
So we can see quite a ways out, I would assume.
When you're at a good elevation, yeah.
Unless
as long as there's
hilly.
not like a hill blocking it, it's pretty open to see.
Okay, that feels a little less dangerous for now.
Yeah, it's not like something can like just sneak right up on you in most places.
Right. That was what I was trying to figure out. I was like, do we really need to be careful scouting or anything? But I don't. I think we're okay.
Yep. You'll
I feel better
hopefully have at least a little bit of warning before something would come up on you here.
Yeah, maybe we can pick up some good time.
Yeah.
But as you go, you can roll perception if you'd like to keep an eye out as you travel.
Yes.
Perception roll, Rach, as you travel. Keeping an eye out for everything.
Okay.
5.
12.
There's the good rolls.
5, 12.
They win.
You guys are our wisdom people. I can't believe
I
it.
know. I rolled really low. I got 6.
5, 12,
Guys.
6. Okay.
Did I just win a perception roll at 13?
Woo!
Dead.
Look at him go.
Oh my eye, I can see everything right now.
My goodness.
Yeah, you all keep an eye out. There's no one that you're really passing on the road. It's pretty quiet, this section of road. You do notice, Dav and Eleonora, that there is like a little sign that's kind of tucked into a little bit of brush. That's kind of got some overgrowth maybe on it, but it does show that the drunk swan is approaching. It's not too far away. So this will probably be a little shorter day if you guys want to stay at the tavern or the inn there, versus passing it and having a little further into it. But the drunk swan is not terribly far from this junction point you were at earlier in the day.
Think we can get them to redo the swan thing.
The atrocious name.
I don't want to see
Of
that.
course not. No.
You're speaking of reenacting it. No.
No.
I was more okay. What about like, what if you do a Euphemia? And then they're like, oh, this happened before, and we'll be like, surprise. We're like, we have a reputation.
No, that's just a very negative reputation, Avril.
You look
I will
like,
continue to tank our
No.
numbers.
all right. What are you talking about? We might get other types of folks to be like, remember those really funny horde hunters and their party tricks?
We're just like, no.
You guys don't have any fun.
I'm
We're
sorry.
working. We're not supposed to have fun.
Well, all right, we can have fun,
I'm
but
not
I think
fun,
everyone's
that's fun.
definition of fun is to varies, I suppose.
I'm gonna go work on this find familiar spell. I'm gonna make my own swan.
We're gonna make it get drunk, then they'll see.
Everyone's like, guys, there's a swan doing shots. It's the coolest thing ever. We're like the party people. Oh no, our reputation went the other way.
You guys keep
We'll go there.
a good journey out, keeping an eye out for things. There's not much of note that you can see with perception rolls. It's pretty quiet, a lot of openness. You don't really see much movement. Again, you don't really pass anybody on the road either today. And yeah, as you travel, you get to getting close to sunset, but you definitely arrive where there's an inn. It's kind of this lone standing building that's there. It's tall. It's got like definitely a couple stories to it, or 3 stories to it. But it's not necessarily the most like well-maintained place. Like it's very patched together. Being this far out, there's not a ton of supplies necessarily that come here often, and I mean, it's kind of like in the middle of all 3 of these cities that are in this section of the world, so kind of have to travel sort of the furthest distance from all of them to get to this place. But it's there. It's got a nice little swan, like passed out drunk swan with some empty tankers around it as a sign. And there's like a little patio area with a river sort of flowing beside it as you approach. There does look like there's like a spot across the street from it where people might park carts. So there's a couple carts that are there with some horses that are there. There's like a stable hand who seems to be working over there. And there is a patron who looks like they're out drinking by the like on the deck patio area by themselves. As you approach.
All right, so, and you said it looks kind of worn down, or it's like a little river porch sounds kind of nice, but
like it's holding together.
it
But
tries
it's
its
not
best.
necessarily like fine craftsmanship that it's holding together with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate that though, trying. That's a very nice little porch. She says generously.
Yeah.
And then-
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go in.
Yeah,
unless
let's
you're gonna
take
say
it. It doesn't
anything.
look like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the vibe in here?
You head inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd check.
Vibe check.
Sure. Give me an insight rolls as you enter in.
We are the vibe.
Oh man. Okay.
1.
6.
2.
6.
Perfect.
Guys, so we're all good
16.
rolls
16. Okay. So all of you sort of enter in, and it seems nice, quaint little place that's there. There is like a musician who's playing like a violin as you enter in, but Euphemia, you notice like it's kind of like slow and not very enthusiastic, but as soon as the door opens and you guys start walking, it just picks up a little bit and starts playing a little more like upbeat of a song. Like welcoming, trying to get people like invested in it. There is a bartender who is behind the bar. There's just a couple of patrons who are sitting over there as well, and they're talking to each other. But yeah, there's plenty of open tables, and there's a staircase that heads upstairs. Different candles lit across the room.
So yes, it's very nice. What? I will probably take my own room. I don't know how the rest of you want to.
I guess I'll take my own. No one ever wants to share. It's fine.
Well, we're just used to bunking up now.
No, I know.
It's
I
fine.
get it. It's fine.
Sorry.
Just trying to save money. No, but it's cool. I get it. I get the logistics.
Also, I was wondering after we have dinner and such, if we could all talk privately.
That would be good.
All right.
Like on the river punch.
What?
Like on the river porch. It's nice.
It is very nice. Depends on if people are out there or not.
Fair.
It's a little private conversation.
This is like nice. This is ritzy. This is like on the waterfront.
Oh,
Nice.
Gabriel, I need to take you some places. But yes, this is they're
They got live music.
What?
Great.
So I'll go up to get 3 rooms we say now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't be like watching the live music, kind of like.
Aw.
Yeah.
I
Just like
it. I'm
this
having a good time.
lady who's just playing the violin just for your enjoyment.
Yeah.
Cute.
Does she get a tip thing? Can I give her a tip?
Yeah, there's like a little
Okay.
container next to her that you could put tips into.
I'm gonna give her 5 silver.
All right, very kind of
Oh.
you. She gives a
That's
very
so
smile, like a big smile and a nod to you as you do that.
Dad walks over and he's about to put in 5 copper, and then he sees that and he's like, takes out 1 silver.
Smiles
to
and
them.
appreciation to you as well. But you approach the person at the bar and just greets you. Good evening. Welcome to the Drunk Swan. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Looking for a room?
Yes, 3 actually. How
3
much do you
rooms.
charge?
It's going to be for 3 rooms. That would be 2 gold, 1 silver.
I could pay
That-
1 silver.
Is that more than normal? He's the upcharge.
It's essentially 7 silver pieces per room.
Well, it's a little more expensive. Probably because it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. They can. There's no
charge more.
competition.
They can charge more.
Supply and
They
demand.
can do whatever they want. Yeah, I'll pay it. I'll just pay it out of the party pool.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that even
So I
better.
slide over the money.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. And gives you that room, and that room. Just kind of points to him.
Perfect.
Is this
Thank you very
like
much.
open in here where we can see all those rooms? Then?
It goes up,
Okay.
and there's like a second
yeah.
story.
There's like a balcony
The
kind of.
third story
I
is
like those.
the third story is more closed off, but like the second story just kind of has all the rooms around like a center open point.
Okay. Fun.
So you guys have like a themed thing, like a flight of drinks, because it's the Drunk Swan or something.
You know it. Swan's Flight. That's what we got.
Yeah, sign me up. How much is that?
That is going to run you a gold piece.
My man. And it just slams down a gold piece. He's like, let's get drunk.
You
But
got
it's
it.
not,
Several.
not that drunk. Not that
Several.
drunk. Just a
Devil,
flight.
please do not get drunk. I
not
just
gonna get
wanted to
drunk.
have a
I'm not
conversation with you. Please do not.
It's the
It's very-
it's the vibe. I'm not gonna get
Right.
wasted. It's just
Please
the
don't.
vibe.
Please do not.
I promise. It's just have to have the flight. We're at the Drunk Swan.
We'll
That's
fly
all.
slow.
Yes, and with food.
Someone buy me
Devil, I
food?
told you I wanted to have a conversation. Please,
I heard you. I'm gonna be there.
mentally, all there.
Always.
I sit
What do
next
you
to him
want?
while he does all his drinks to make sure he.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna get some food with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
A nice meal.
if anybody else is getting food, that would run you probably
I need
a
food.
silver piece as well for just like a simple meal. Basics.
Perfect. I don't want to eat my rash.
Mark off the 1 ration from the previous day, plus 1,
Oh, yeah.
I did already.
plus
Already got that
1
one.
because of the Rob
Already did 2.
one.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't need to mark one off today if you're buying stuff here.
Cool.
Yeah, this would be if you're going small. If you're going regular meal, like actual like filling meal, would be 3 silver pieces. Sorry, that's what.
That's what Dab's doing then. He's going all out.
So 3 silver if you're going for like a filling meal. 1 silver if you were eating light tonight.
I thought you were trying to save money, Davril.
Sorry. There's a bug on my mic.
I saw like the panic in your face. Like I don't know if I've ever seen you
when
make
they're
that
up
face.
on me.
Ah!
All right, I got
All
in
right.
my drink.
Yeah, you got this like flight of drinks that come out for you to have, and all your food comes out.
This is an experience. It's amazing.
Listening to the music, yeah.
There is a
I feel
little
like
bit of
Eleanor
a
would be like, okay.
yeah. There's a little bit of a chill kind of coming in, being close to the water this time of year. So outside maybe is a little cold, but the person who's outside eventually would come inside.
Got 2 drinks in. He's oh yeah, we kind of newer here in the area, but we met a really nice guy, Braun. He was saying he might be coming through this way. I thought maybe he'd be from Yellowfields, but have you seen a guy named Braun? Really nice guy. Just,
You're asking the bartender?
Yeah. Just trying to see if he's already come through here or not.
Braun?
Yeah. We met him in Lakeside about a week ago.
Describe him.
Give him a description.
Might have seen that guy
I
before,
don't
yeah.
remember at all.
Yeah. Maybe seen him before.
Yeah, did they just come through, or do you know if they coming through soon?
I haven't seen that guy for a while.
Weird. All right. Well, how they travel through. Then I'll give a description of Kindra. Sometimes travels with Genasi like this. Hear anything?
Seems to be asking a lot of questions.
I mean, I heard they're possibly going to be on the road. Just trying to meet up with them.
Well, I suggest you find a way to get in contact with them if you're friends with them.
Well, I mean, it's been some years. That's why I'm trying to catch up. That's all.
Well, I wish you luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, I was just curious. I figured this would be the one good location along the way. So
This is the one good location on the way between cities, so came to the right spot.
Well, I'll kind of write out a note. I mean, I don't know if you do this. You can throw it away if you don't. But I mean, if you see one of them, just let them know I'm looking for him, and we'll be back in Lakeside most likely.
Lakeside?
Yeah, we'll probably be circling back around.
Oh.
All right.
Well, we're heading to Yellowfields. Yeah, I mean, if you see him
Yeah.
soon, but we'll be circling back around.
All right.
Appreciate it. This is great.
Enjoy. Good stuff there.
So jovial.
He likes the experience.
But yeah, what the two
Oh my
that
God.
are talking, they continue to kind of have their conversation. The one who came in from outside starts to head upstairs. Looks like they're going to their room. But you guys can all find a table with your meals and your drinks if you'd like.
Guessing Eleanor prevents me from drinking too fast.
She seems a little more intense about it. Like, I feel like it might be a little weird. I'll just say that. Like, normally she doesn't care if you're drinking
Do you
that much.
you want one of these to like calm down if you feel you're really uptight? Just like
I'm not so tight.
get the edge off and just slides it over.
Maybe this.
Cheers.
I drink just a little bit. I cheers him.
Okay.
How is it? Not up to your standard.
Yeah, how is it?
I mean, they got some pretty decent stuff here. So,
Drunk Swan. Okay.
For his blog.
Yeah, okay.
It's travel.
Is
blog.
Did you say there are people in here, like a fair amount?
there's two
There's like
that
a
are off
couple.
in the table talking, like amongst themselves, and then there's the violin player, and then there's the bartender, who's just kind of, they're all kind of doing their own thing.
Okay.
Does Eleanor seem like nervous? If she's being a little bit more like snippy than usual?
I mean, you can roll insight. for that.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Ooh, that's not very good. 10.
I will too. That's okay because I feel like you said she's acting kind of. Here, we might notice it. 3.
You both just.
Okay.
There goes
Yeah.
all the good rolls.
Yeah.
I'm trying to memorize the songs I can hum it. I just heard. That's very concentrated.
At one point, I want to go up and look in the room. Does it look like all 4 of us could fit comfortably in the room to talk?
It's a little tight for 4 people.
Okay. When I go back downstairs, is it? Yeah. I just want to make sure if I'm gonna have a conversation, I want to make sure no one can overhear us.
Yeah,
So
I
it
mean
just
the
depends
2
on where
look
I
like
feel like I can go.
they're not even paying attention to the musicians kind of slowing down again as like they got their tips and now everyone's just kind of like amongst their own groups and not playing nearly as fervently as before. And as night sort of continues to push on, the violin player eventually stops and looks like she's heading off to go rest or something too. The 2 are still talking in the corner, but they don't look like they're paying you any attention. Things are
Okay.
slowing down.
As long as this space, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, why don't we take a break here, and then we can pick up with whatever Eleonora's got to talk about in the second half. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So stick around, friends. We'll be back shortly. Let's go refresh yourself, use the bathroom, or get snacks, whatever you feel like doing. And we'll be back soon for our second half, so see you all shortly. All right, friends, we're back, ready for part 2 of tonight's session. As our party is at an inn along the road called the Drunk Swan, which 3 out of the 4 parties don't seem very fond of how they got its name. But they are sort of getting close to evening time. Eleonora has them all together to speak to them about something. And yeah, we'll pick up there with Eleonora kind of taking what she wants to do.
Yeah, so just kind of after things went down, and she definitely, kind of makes sure the area is like clear of anyone that might be able to like pop in. And so she kind of like puts her hands together on the table, and I think now you wouldn't even have to roll an insight. Like, she definitely looks nervous. And I feel like that's not like a thing that you see from her very much. But like she's even kind of like playing with like a ring or something. You know, like she's just like looks a little fidgety. And she says, Davin, I do apologize for not letting you have fun today, but
I have plenty of fun.
Oh, well, good.
But I'm here for you. With whatever's happening. Because we're serious and we're listening. All ears.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Well, I wanted to talk to you all about something. And I don't know how it will go. So, all right. I might as well just say it. I didn't want to keep this for long. But I have to confess that I've been lying to you 3 about one aspect of myself. The reason why is because I had to make sure that you 3 could be trusted. Something about me. And I feel like in the last month, you 3 have proven trustworthy. So I would like to not hide it any longer. If that makes sense. I do not like deceiving anyone. So hopefully we can clear the air. I don't know how to say this. I am not a wizard.
What do you mean?
Is this close to saying, I mean, I know whatever you say, as long as it's not like you're not a wizard or something. It's like that close to saying that. What?
But I've seen you do lots of magic. What do you mean?
You copied spells in your spellbook. Of course you're, I mean, what are you talking about?
I can do magic. It is not because I have been trained like that.
Oh, are you one of those like, oh, it's in my blood, I can do it willy-nilly?
Oh,
kind of
no,
sorcerers?
absolutely not. No, that is not me either.
Like them either. Same.
Well,
Sorry, no judging. So it's your table, my bad. What's up?
Alright, you're taking it better than I thought, Deborah. Well, I accept anger. I feel bad because you've wanted help from me, but I haven't been able to help you. The reason I can't help you is because that is not the type of magic that I do and the type that you want.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, I probably should have picked up on that.
I was not trying to give you the runaround or anything. But, yes.
So did you actually use the stuff I gave you?
Yes, it was very helpful. Perhaps I shall start from the beginning.
That'll be good.
I have never had any sort of skill in any sort of combat. Neither has my brother. We were not raised that way. We did not think that was ever anything we would need. So I said that I had magic tutors, but theory only. Not anything that I studied or took very seriously as I had other things to do. So, after I was banished, I spent 2 years trying to get others to listen to me, staying in Bronze Barrens. As you can imagine, if you have no power and no skill, you can be pushed aside very easily. And there's nothing that can be done. And so as my funds dwindled, as my reputation grew worse by the month, and as I realized that no one was going to aid me, I realized I was out of options. My lowest point came at when I was in Error Run, and some ruffians in the street thought that it would be a good idea to kill me because I needed to be punished for my crimes. So I was very close to being dragged off and being murdered somewhere when a woman saved me. Did not hesitate at all. And she took care of the ruffians and offered to buy me a drink. And when she heard out my story, she said that she could introduce me to someone that could help me out, so that I could do this myself, so to speak, instead of having to be helpless waiting for someone to aid me when I knew at this point that no one would. She helped me see that it would not be. I would have to do it myself, is what I mean. So I agreed to meet with this person, and we struck a deal, forged a partnership. I would let them know the goings-on of the world, as they had taken an interest in it, and they would give me power so that I could handle this myself. Apparently, they do not have a good reputation amongst some circles, so I was advised it may just be better to pose as a wizard until you find people you trust, and then reveal that information to them later. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm a wizard, but not really. And I didn't want to deceive you all anymore. I didn't want to do that.
Is there like a basic understanding of patrons and warlocks in the world, and like sorcerers and wizards, or is that
Give me
something
an Arcana roll, if you want.
Can I too? Because I feel like I
Yeah,
I
I'd
was
be
around
curious.
magic a lot.
Okay.
Are you guys proficient with Arcana?
I am.
No.
Okay. You can roll Euphemia.
15?
10 again.
Okay.
Wow! Oh, that's lots of
It's
tens.
potentially a concept that you've heard of before, Euphemia, but you're not super familiar with it.
Okay.
Dav, you definitely have a little bit of a understanding of kind of how it is. Not like super deep or anything, but like a basic understanding of it, how it could function.
So, that's a lot to take in. You gonna
Yes, it is.
It's just a person, or you gonna tell us anything about this person?
I can. Actually, they were rather interested in meeting all of you. If you would be up for it.
Is that
Well, they know a lot about what's going on outside of this plane, including what happened with the Shadow. The actual facts.
oh.
Sorry.
Clyde and Sinker.
Oh, wait a second. What?
Instantly forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even a wizard in practice either, so you're fine.
And has offered me very insightful things about everything that's going on with this. I have not said anything that is private that you all have shared with me. Only things that are well known to the rest. Or what you've been willing to disclose to others, if that makes sense.
Clearly, you trust them.
Yeah, as far as I know, yes. I mean, obviously we did not meet before a few months ago. So there is much I do not know, but...
And are you telling us now just because they want to meet us, or is there another reason you're telling us right now?
Partly, yes. Partly because they are very interested in what is going on with us with our magical affliction. And they believe that it can be controlled, perhaps, in some way. And so they were hoping to perhaps see it firsthand. So that's part of it. The other part of it is just, like I said, I don't like lying. I'm not really someone that lies very often, or at least something like this. And I felt guilty not disclosing things I knew as fact, but I could not say. And dodging around, I don't like it. And I feel like I can trust you three, and I can trust you three to keep a secret and to not cast me out for a choice like this. I think you know how desperate I am and what I'm willing to do, and so I didn't want to hide it any longer, and I am sorry for lying.
Lying about being a wizard, I mean, it's...
Oh, it broke my heart every time I did it, Davril. You must understand.
Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't really get what I don't really get what the big deal is. I don't know. I don't really care.
I appreciate
it.
Magic is magic, I guess, to me.
Yeah. My only concern would just be this person or figure, whoever this is, if they are genuinely doing this because you have a good partnership, or if this is something that you backed into because you were in a tight corner.
Yep.
Yes.
And what
thing that just crossed my mind as well.
That would affect how wise it is for the rest of us to get involved.
I see. Well, so far I have not had any warning bells in my head.
Okay.
They have seemed very kind, attentive, professional. It seems a business partnership to me, except a stranger, so I'm not really sure. I'm sure there are... I'm not saying I'm going in with my eyes shut, though.
Sure.
So, it is up to you. If you do not want to meet this person, that is all right, but I think it might help.
If we meet this person, what are you hoping? What are you hoping that we can achieve with them, other than just like information? Is that all you're thinking?
Well, information, yes, but also they were saying if they could see in this house firsthand, they might be able to get a better understanding of them. So Vari has been very helpful so far, but I think they might have a better understanding. They seem to understand the fabric of this plane better than most.
Are they not here to see them themselves?
They are not. In fact, I was taken out of this plane by this person a few months ago for us to forge our partnership.
How?
Some magic.
Just for a minute, or for how long?
Till our meeting was concluded, so not but an hour.
Do you know what plane you were taken to, or where they are?
The Hold.
Does it have a name?
Yes, the hold. Near it, I think.
I mean, I'm down.
As long as we keep up them, then.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent many nights reaching out, hoping for more power, for more deals, for anything. So glad something reached back out to you. I've found I've needed to rely on myself on my path, but if you have answers, you have a road to walk on. I'm interested.
She actually takes. I feel like she was most worried about Davril, so she actually reaches out and squeezes your hand on the table, and she's just.
All right. We're not wizard friends yet, but he just pats it back.
Euphemia, if you are uncomfortable, you do not have to participate if you do not want to. I don't want to force you into anything. It was merely an offer.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure we have all the information.
Well, I would rather they explain it themselves, to be honest. I don't know even how much I should say. I don't really know any of this. I don't want to jeopardize the only chance I have by saying the wrong thing.
Are you afraid
Or by
of them?
offending. No, I'm not afraid of them, but it's a bit like in any sort of business deal, you just want to make sure you tread carefully. And I do not want to do something that may offend them and damage our relationship in the future. I don't think they would abandon me at one unkind word or information that I shouldn't have said, but it all builds over time, you see. I just want to make sure it's all spotless.
I think we should meet them. I want to understand this partnership a little bit better, since you're caretaking it so much, and it certainly it's very important to you. So if that's going to affect how we move forward and how we operate, we should probably know what's going on.
I was trying to make sense of it too. You're all talking all like, never in a battle, I don't fight, and then kind of held your own a couple times. A little shaky on the first one, but I mean, you held your own quite a bit. So.
Well, I have almost died a few times, so it sort of helps.
Yeah, I was going to clarify, but you haven't actually died, right?
No, I have not died.
Okay, all right.
Very near death a few times, but...
Yeah, I had to clarify at first because you were like, man, it sounded like you died in that fight at first, and then the lady came.
No, just it was very, very close, and she came just in time.
Are you still in contact with this woman?
No, she disappeared after our meeting. I would like to see her again. Thank her.
Remember her name?
Yes, her name is Lucy. But yes, I've not seen her since. I don't even know if she's on this plane. I'm not sure.
Well, is there a way to contact this person now? Is that why you're bringing it up, or?
Yes, actually. I do not know if they are busy, but and I take out my notebook with the hand, and I open it up, and it's just in front of you guys now. Maybe tilted a little bit so if someone walks by the bar, they can't see, because I still want it to be pretty private. Mm-hmm. But I open up the book, and yeah, you see just an utterly blank page. There's just nothing in it. And
here.
I don't think it would be a problem. And I just write in very elaborate writing, forgive the informality, but I did tell the group they are ready to meet you whenever you have some time. and then I sign Eleanor. And then you see this like faint red glow to the paper, and the message disappears.
Oh. That's cool.
This
What
is how
is
we
that?
contact each other. This is how we
Oh.
contact each other.
How does it work? Does it go into a book that they have?
Yes.
How do they know when there's a new message in it?
Oh, that's a good question. I do not know that. I
How
suppose
do
you
you know
just
when
check
you get a message?
I just check occasionally. Just at night when you have some time. I'll usually write notes and see one's there or not, depending.
And you've told him about all of us and whatnot?
Yes. And that's what I wanted to clarify. I told them about some of the afflictions and different things that were going on, but no more than what you were willing to say to strangers. So details I did not say. So he knows about Ackroll and your cult, but he does not know about the person that brought it about. I didn't want to disclose that detail. He knows that you suffer from some sort of affliction, euphemia, but not why or the details. I wanted insight. I hope that is not a breach of privacy, but I had hoped that perhaps it would help, but I tried to keep details away. Unless you were willing to divulge them yourselves.
I know your intentions were good.
You seem pissed. So
I know. Are
Hmm?
you upset with me?
Hmm?
Are you upset with me?
I am just concerned for all of us if this person turns out they can't be trusted.
You seem to be more worried about a mysterious book than you were about your friend who took a tooth from you.
That's because I got to see Ram and interact with him.
Maybe
But
you get a
also-
chance to interact with this person.
That's what I just said. I want to
That's
meet
fair.
them so I
That's
can
fair.
interact with
Yes. I mean, if
them.
you
So I'm
still,
withholding my opinion until
Yes.
we meet them.
yes,
Smart.
if after we meet, if you still have reservations or you would like to say anything you want to me, I will accept it, Euphemia. But I hope you will see that I have confidence enough.
That's fine with me.
Euphemia, as this conversation's going on, you suddenly kind of like have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. And you start to look around the room. And like it's sunset time.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of watch as it just goes from sunset to just blackness outside. And the two that are in the corner talking to each other at the table and the bartender who's like cleaning some glasses, you just watch as they just stop moving. And this eerie quiet suddenly takes the whole room. Everything stops. All sound stops. There's no outside noise. It's just you four sitting at this table, surrounded by a world that appears to have stopped entirely.
Okay. Does everyone else? It's just me, right?
Everybody is still moving at the table.
Everyone. Okay, but I'm the only one that sees that this is shifted.
Eleanor, you
Did we
also begin to
notice?
notice this as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, don't panic. This is normal, I think.
You think?
And with this mention, like you the other two also kind of start to pick up on just like everything stopped, and it's just a black void outside the windows right now.
Is this like weather in the area? Winnie. This is a regional thing.
No, I don't think so. This is weirder.
This isn't.
Oh,
You hear
sorry, I can't
the
see much
door
out
to the
eyes.
tavern open up. And stepping inside is an individual, not dressed too differently than what Dav looks like, actually. Dressed in a fine attire. A little older of an individual. And kind of like looks around the room and walks forward. Essentially wearing like a business suit. Nice black tie. And some brown or gray hair kind of nicely combed to the side, and he approaches. Good evening. Good to see you again, Eleanor.
It's lovely to see you again.
Begins to approach the table.
I didn't know they were so soon here. I thought you were waiting for her. Hi.
Oh, yes. I did not introduce you. I wanted to make sure that you gave whatever information you liked, including your name. So,
Of course.
feel free. Yes.
Hello, you three. I've heard a lot about all of you. My name, you can call me, Death.
I was so close. I was right on it. I was right on it.
I knew as soon as the hand was on the book.
I almost
cute.
discredited that idea because I was like, that's too obvious. I was digging a lot deeper.
And for
I
those at
wanted
home who
ever
may
since I
not
heard
know
about it,
this, too, Death
Yeah.
is the character that Willis Shaw turned into from Beacons.
Yeah.
So,
Which is why I just saw with an old man face.
yes.
Damn, I have no connection to this.
Our
Trying so
boy.
hard to have Dab not just be instantly like, my God.
Girl, Michael's fans themselves.
No, but Michael's got like one little tear in the corner of his eyes.
If you were in another plane, the Beacon babies are like, huh?
Yeah.
And
John!
What's going on?
as he kind of enters in, he goes over and goes to a table, grabs a chair, and he kind of takes a moment and waves his hand, and like a hand goes out and picks up a thing, like a little pouch, and he lays on the table. This is for you, I guess. This is over in the corner. Somebody must have lost it. Sounds like gold as it clinks to the table.
It's the Raiders.
As there's
Amazing.
14 gold in this little pouch for you all to have. Thanks for the raid, Tasty Doo.
They're the luckiest people ever.
But he'll turn the chair around. Yes, I am Death. So you must be Winifred and Davril and Euphemia. Pleasure
What do you mean?
to meet you.
What do you mean you're death? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah.
It's a name I've
Like,
given
she's
myself.
Kind of starstruck too. She's like, oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's just eerily quiet everywhere around you. Like no one's moving. You guys are just having this conversation. It's a name I've given myself. Seemed to fit.
Because you killed so many people.
It's
Oh dear.
there's history to the name. I was once only accused of bringing death to people when I was trying to help, and that's kind of a shot back at the person who gave me the name by taking it for myself.
Cool. She's very like, yeah.
So, no offense, a little new to this. So are you like us and you're here just really powerful? Or are you like God just walking among us? I met someone in a dream one time, they danced around. Not sure I'm on that level. Or you like kind of between? Because I know you're like doing this whole patron thing. Do I get that right? Is that right, patron? Is that what I call you? To her?
Yes,
Not
you
to me,
can
sorry.
call that.
I'm rambling. I apologize. Magical users, pretty cool.
He gets
so.
excited. Yes.
Who did you speak with in your dream?
Oh wow, I was blanking out. Domine? Is that her name?
Domine, yeah.
Yeah, Domine, if I was not hallucinating. I had a really bad fever. I don't know, she was skipping around, a little annoying. Seemed alright in those boats, but...
I am not to the level of Domine, but I am not mortal anymore either.
But you were.
I was, as were all the gods at one point.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So there's a way to become less mortal instead of dying?
Perhaps. It is.
You see a fire just light up in Dav's eyes.
Uh-oh.
It is not an easy task, and very, very few ever reach it, but
Shoot, you're about to get another application of this Patreon thing if you keep talking that way. Sorry, Eleanor, you can go ahead.
Oh, well, I just, Death, I told them about our partnership. I told them that you have been providing some very helpful information, and context to what's going on. I did not share much, though. I thought perhaps it would be better coming from you, just so they also know that you are an ally to be trusted.
of course, yes. I want to be of as much aid to all of you as possible. Do you all have any questions for me that you would be of interest in? Maybe that I can answer for you.
Do you know what's going on with all of our mishaps and stuff?
I do not. That is part of why I have Eleonora here, working to investigate and inform me about different things that are happening. And I will continue to work with her in theorizing and hoping to figure it out.
Do you have any theories right now?
Nothing solid at this point,
Hmm.
but magic definitely is disrupted here. But only here.
Is it like this anywhere else? I was
No.
gonna say anywhere else or just here. Oh.
It's only here.
Hmm.
And I would very much so want to see that resolved.
But Eleanor said you knew what the shutter was and why?
Yes, I was around during the shutter.
You were here?
I was not on this plane, no. But
Oh.
I was there for the events that caused the shutter, yes. I actually knew the people who helped right the situation.
Oh. I did not know that. So you saw it firsthand, or?
Somewhat, yes. I was around for it. Basically, there was an individual, a powerful creature, a follower of the evil god, Rutendo. And he was seeking to free his master, which would likely bring about great destruction to whatever he can destroy. And part of this is Rutendo is sealed away, and by getting rid of the gods that hold the seals, they would be able to release him. And he nearly succeeded. But he was luckily able to be stopped by this group.
That was over what, the 5 years of the shutter?
No, that was
Right.
just a few
The shutter
days. It took
happened.
place over.
Yeah.
So this individual was capturing these deities and sealing them away themselves, preventing them from being able to impart their powers into the world, their protective energies, what they rule over. And in that way, many who were followers of them lost their abilities. It also seems to have affected this plane in a particular way that's different than everywhere else.
Are you tasked specifically with helping right this situation here, or are there more of you, like you, that are trying to fix this?
Fix here?
Mm-hmm.
I believe there are deities who are lending their powers to those here to right it, but I don't think this specific plane is of first priority to many. But I am definitely interested in this place. Be corrected.
Why?
This place is rather special to me.
In what way?
Did you two live here or something?
Many years ago when I was mortal, there was a plane here that I did live on. It was destroyed, and then this world was built in the same place as that plane.
How'd it get destroyed?
There was a fallen angel who had taken many captive and made his own little plane of existence, and he was killed and prevented from being able to continue, which caused the magic that held that plane together to break.
Is this one breaking then? You think?
It's something that I've wondered, which is why I'm hoping to correct that, because I don't know what would happen to the people here if it did break.
What happened to the people last time?
As far as I know, they were sent to many different places, different planes across existence. I don't know where everybody went, though. And I don't
Would
know
that
what would
stand to reason
happen
that this
to
thing-
people who are here currently.
Well, yes, that would it stand to reason the same would happen again? Or...
Perhaps.
Man, fallen angels, gods, these are some powerful people. Woof. So, how long ago? Do you know how long ago this other plane broke apart and left this, I guess, what, like a void that Strasham and the wizards were able to play around with here? Is that, am I following right?
Let me look real quick.
Like, well, that's backstory for doing campaigns.
Right.
Also, I'm sorry. The sun is literally beaming into my eyeballs. So I'm
fine.
gonna see if I can fix it.
Yeah, go for it.
Adjusting all our lighting now.
Yeah.
Not expecting all this. Hey,
I know.
This was fun.
Yes.
Rachel's like, I'm dropping this now.
Yeah, it was literally like
I could tell it was coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That was, I believe, just over 200 years ago.
Walked in.
Sorry, what did you
200
say?
years.
Just, yeah, just over 200 years ago.
200 years ago. So, it was nothing for 50 years or so?
approximately. Let me just make sure I got all my dates right. I'm gonna pull out a calculator so I can calculate the dates. Just don't want to give you the wrong stuff.
Official.
Look at you go.
Actually, yeah, I'm missing the creation of this plane on my time.
Let's see.
I have like a cheat sheet of like.
Yeah, it was about almost 60
thousand.
years that there was nothing here. And it was created. And that is where we are now.
So this plane's been here 140 years. And
It's been
What are you saying?
149 years this plane has existed.
do you have a year? That is, I guess it'd be 0. No, wait, what year this was created then?
So,
This is not
kind of
0.
overarching creation universe time.
Yeah.
This was created in 9041.
Okay.
It would have been 89,
in world, do we go
82.
by this year?
What?
In universe, do we go by this year system?
It's
Like, do
kind
we
of
say
it's
it's
kind of a
91,
combined
90?
both, because the universe time is like what's really important because that keeps track, but this world has existed for 149 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 89, 82. He'll say that the plane was destroyed.
89, 92,
89, 82.
82. That's so
Were you
cool.
saying that destruction was a good thing or a bad thing?
I'd say there's definite good things about that plane being destroyed. Was definitely a good thing, because the fallen angel was trying to harvest the souls of everyone there, people I cared about.
Truly.
Do angels usually harvest souls? I never heard of that.
Well, fallen angels may.
Oh, that's right.
For power, I suppose.
For power, yes.
Weird.
Did you have a relationship with other people on this plane like you do with Eleonora before the shutter?
Not really, no.
So is this something new that you've taken on as a transactional thing to help figure out what happened, or is there another benefit for you?
I would like to help. I was informed that she was in need from my right hand, and I was definitely inclined to help when I heard of her need. And we have entered into an agreement that she will offer me more knowledge about the world, more knowledge about magic, in exchange for the powers that I give her.
But why can't you just find the knowledge yourself if you can travel here? Why do you need
That's
her? Like, why do you
part
need any
of the
us?
reason being a deity is not the best thing, is there is a separation between what I can actually do as a deity with the role I have. I cannot directly get involved with mortal affairs, or I risk my own godhood.
And who polices that?
One's much higher than Dalmanet. In fact, what Rotendo used to be. But that's a whole other thing. What other questions may you have for me?
We
you know
all
anything
like.
about-
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just for my own research purposes, I guess. Do you know anything about Zogvest? Much about him?
I'm definitely aware of Zogvest. What would you like to know?
I have a lot of questions, but I guess, does he communicate through nightmares sometimes? Like through dreams? Well, almost all the time, right?
He can.
Does he communicate with people here? Do any gods communicate with people here on this plane, since it's kind of cut
I'm
off?
sure there are many who do. Your friend here even speaks
I'm
with
gonna-
talking to Dalmine,
Yeah, that's true.
the counterpart to
I'm gonna pull my
Zogvest.
I'm gonna pull out my notebook and show him the symbol that was on that book, and be like, "What? Do you know what this is?" I think it has
looks
something to
at
do with
it.
Zogvest, we don't know what.
So this is the like the bird with the moon,
The
right?
raven. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you see this?
It was on a book.
A professor at the school at Lakeside.
But I don't know what I don't know. I couldn't find anything about it or what it even means or anything. I looked everywhere too, in the library at least.
This symbol is most typically associated with covens.
Covens.
Oh.
Like for witches?
Hags, witches, yes.
What, like a specific coven? Is there like a bunch of I don't know much about covens, to be honest.
There are many different covens that can be out there. This is sort of a, as a whole, symbol that's associated with covens.
This was in reference to something that he believed was a curse. Could be.
Yeah, we were talking to the professor about curses, and he brought this book out, and we were talking about. Do you know much about curses?
I have in fact been cursed myself by a coven.
What are the symptoms
Oh.
of being cursed by a coven?
It can vary. Mine was a marking on my body. But usually there's some sort of lingering attachment that can be there that can show a curse.
Does it have
That
to be
sounds
a
rather
marking?
dreadful.
Could it be like a mental marking, kind of like a memory or something?
Perhaps. There are many ways that these curses can be present with an individual. Curses are quite powerful magic that take a lot to break. Their strength is in working as a coven to create the curse. And simple magic is often not enough to break it.
So I'm
curses
assuming
be-
you broke your curse then. Was it a feat that was difficult?
Or are you just living with it?
As a deity, I nearly died to it.
Oh.
But it
Even
is
as a
resolved
deity?
now and dealt with.
Can curses be passed on, like, through bloodlines?
Perhaps.
This is all hypothetical, by the way.
Of course it is, yes.
It's just research I've done, so I just was very curious, so thank you.
I love Chris so much.
Just a
That was
knowing
amazing.
smile he gives you.
He's like, yeah, kid, I'm sure.
Sure. Oh my gosh.
Well, don't just sit there. I'm sure you have questions. I don't have all night that I can stay here.
Do you know
Do you-
stress? Oh, go ahead.
Do you have other charges like Eleanor? Do you have other arrangements in this plane other than her?
Do
She's
you
the
want
only
more? I
one
mean,
here.
sorry. Wait, that's it. Sorry.
Do you want to?
I mean, kinda, but more gonna train myself in a different way.
All right.
I mean, unless you
Um,
know, yeah, unless you want to like be a mentor of things. You know, you seem like you know your magic pretty well too.
You want to make a deal? We can talk.
Do you know anything about blade singing?
No, that is not an expertise I have.
What kind of deal are you offering?
Why don't we speak privately if we're going to discuss deals?
Okay, Boyd.
I'll put it on the books then.
Yes.
Death, I do not know if it is intrusive to ask, but do you make deals with many people in general, or is it a bit of a rare thing?
It is a more rare thing. I have expanded a little bit. I used to be a singular individual, but now it's grown to more as I have need.
So, I don't know if I fully understand the nature of your role specifically, but as you've given yourself the name Death, what does this mean for Eleonora if we're in danger? Can you keep her from dying?
That is part of the abilities I've given her, is in hopes that she can prevent herself from dying.
Along those accords, what happens if Eleanor's goals split with yours?
I doubt that would happen. She seems like a wonderful young lady. But if she suddenly went into territory that I no longer thought was appropriate, I can cease to give her power. I'm sure you all would be very concerned if she got into a position that she ceased to work under what I thought was appropriate, and would likely want to stop her yourselves.
I'm not her caretaker. She can make her own decisions. So I just want to make sure her life and safety is there first. You wanted to harm her? No offense.
I have no plans to harm Eleonora.
As we established a few months ago, we both seem to have the same goals. So I do not think that anything would deviate from that.
It is a wonderful partnership we have.
It's been
Yeah,
very
like-
beneficial.
Just because, yeah, trying to be in character and not thinking this is Mr. Shaw. Can I like project
Mr.
him,
Shaw!
like, Mr. Shaw, excuse me, can you help us? Can I just insight him
sounds
to see if he seems like he's like being like manipulative or like pulling? I don't
Sure.
know, just kind
Go
of get
for
a vibe check.
Yeah, go for
The
it.
insight roll, new name for the insight rolls of action.
Death checks.
13.
13, you said?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he seems upfront to all of you. He's very straightforward type of guy.
Okay.
You know, I really like you. I mean, honestly, I'm half fangirling the fact that you're like beyond immortal, not really a god, which I think is like the coolest thing ever. Because that's kind of like, I mean, you can probably see right through me. That's kind of what I want to become. But I'm also, to be frank, consider Eleonora kind of I kind of do this like like a sibling, like a little sister thing to protect, because I lost my brother, so don't tell her that. But
Well, that's very
so I just gotta
respectful.
say, for the sake of this, with all due respect, I really like you. I'm sure you can just like bleep me out of existence. But if you do harm her, I will do anything to come after you and make sure you don't. But
Oh dear.
that being said, I know, like I said, Eleanor's not gonna like it, but I had to say it. I'm like little big brother thing.
It goes the
Hold
same
on.
for you. If you ever harm her,
Thank you.
I will
Yeah,
make sure you
see,
cease to exist.
I appreciate that. See, I like this. I like this going on right
This
now.
is so flattering
is
on
good.
me that
I kind of put a
Just
hand
hide
out. I kind of like hope to shake on that with him. I like him. He's good.
He'll shake your hand with like a look just like that almost sends a chill down your spine of like, he's serious too. Like,
Yeah, I love it. He loves it. This is the kind of stuff he wants to deal with.
Eleanor is like almost like flustered from the attention of the two. It's just almost like, oh, so flattering. Thank you, both of you.
so strange. She reaches under the table. Someone's stuck gold pieces to the bottom of the table with some sort of gummy material. Disgusting. Puts 4 more pieces of gold on the table. Thank you for the raid, Records of the Realm.
I mean, if they just cleaned up the place, they'd be able to fix this place up. Jeez.
And maybe it's a tradition they have around here. I don't know.
Probably.
The swan drops people's gold. It steals while it's drunk. Who knows?
Yeah. Death, I know we had spoken about memories being altered. I know we were going to talk about that at some point. I didn't know if that was something you would want to speak of. Fair notes.
Or any other questions you may have too. Available for a little while longer.
What's this about? Memory? Wait, what?
Does he seem like he didn't want to talk about that?
Is this Mike not remembering, or is this Dav not remembering?
Huh?
What?
This is Mike not remembering, maybe.
Okay.
What?
Oh, you're talking
Wait,
to...
I don't know what just
You talking to
happened.
Shaw, or are you talking to Mike?
No,
Who you
I was talking to you, Mark. I was talking
Me?
to
I
you.
was talking to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking to Mike for a second. I was so confused
No.
there too.
No, she was talking to you.
Memory stuff. Okay.
Yes, I was. Okay,
Oh,
let me
jeez.
Yeah.
Rewind. I'm
silence
so
and
lost.
Okay, yeah, because you were like silent after I asked the question. I'm like, okay, I guess I should have
That
asked
Dad's
that in
like,
public.
what was this about?
I thought
yikes.
you were asking Dav a question. That's why I was so
No.
lost.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. We're
Yes.
gonna rewind.
Rewind to
Yeah.
that.
Even rewind.
Set the
Yes,
scene.
okay.
Let's go.
That's
Eleanor
just so
says,
intense. We're all just like,
yeah, so Eleanor just says, Death, I know you had spoken about spells that involved memory being altered and things like that, when it comes to my family specifically and things like that. You said you had seen a situation like that?
I did. That fallen angel, in fact, was able to enchant the people of the world to change their memories in order to fit his goals.
Whole world?
Like all the people?
Goodness
Everyone within his sphere of influence, yes.
Just looks
How was
over at
that-
Eleonora. You're not doing this to us right now, right? And just making this all up.
Oh, Davril.
You would be a wizard. You're hiding it.
Wait, so you're saying, how would that be possible? I did not even know a fallen angel could be that powerful. At least, that seems excessive, but perhaps I'm just being naive.
Oh,
There is very powerful
Oh.
magic out there. I mean, like I said, the covens, there is deep magic that beings even beyond the mortals can accomplish.
So, was the memories being altered something very big, or was it small things?
It was primarily about an event of them arriving at the plane.
Arriving.
So if someone is altering memories, then does it have to be about like one specific event, or could it be about lots of different things, I guess?
I believe in this case it was a targeted memory that was out there. There was also a energy in there as well that was about erasing if anybody had seen one of the seals that kept the plane in place. But those were able to be
Where's this?
removed through some magic. Yes.
I don't know why all my characters raise their hands. So seals. Is this fallen angel thing,
Yes.
or is this about keeping this plane here? Like, would this plane have seals of its own, keeping it together?
That's a good question.
I believe the magic that created this plane is more powerful than what made the other plane. It was more of a transportation of another section of another world to put it in this place, and it was the seals to hold it there, compared to this was created specifically at this point by the 4 wizards who created the world.
I was going to ask, do you know any 4 of them directly?
Directly, no.
You never reached out to any 4 of them?
No. There's a lot out there for me to be involved in.
I mean, no offense, I guess. I just figured if you had interest in this place, Eleanor is a great one to work with, but why
again,
not go straight to the source?
My interest was primarily piqued in this place after I heard from my right hand about her need.
Gotcha.
It has a special place for me, for sure, as it was where I was born, in fact, on that oath plane. But it's also got painful memories associated with it as well.
Who's to suppose if it's gone? I'm sorry to hear that.
You've been studying these mishaps, then, so far.
I'm aware of them, yes.
What do you think happened? Why were we affected by that ritual? What was that ritual, do you know? I'm sure, Eleanor, you told him, right, about...
Told him what it was, although we don't know actually what the ritual was, but aspects of it.
If you can get me details of the ritual, I can look into it. I believe the ritual doing what it did is most likely a byproduct of the shutter. And I believe the shutter is magic breaking here.
Certainly seems that way.
What that means exactly, I'm not sure yet.
Would you be able to pick up those details if you were able to see what happened with your own eyes?
I don't know if just seeing it would be enough. It seems to just be fundamentally broken. Not necessarily you casting a spell would show me information I need to understand that. But perhaps through your adventuring and Eleonora continuing to inform me of what is happening, my own continued pursuit of knowledge, we can work together.
I'm gonna look at Eleonora and just ask, did you tell him what happened at Winnie's house? With the investigation.
I mentioned a vague overview.
If something like that happens again, what do we do?
Sorry, were you asking her about? I just missed that part.
The investigation. I was asking if Eleonora told. I don't know. Did you tell Death about
the possession
whatever
you talk about?
Over?
The possession, okay. Yeah. I just said I gave him a vague overview, like not
so I don't
details.
know what that means,
just
but
yeah.
Let me double check to see what you told them.
I basically I told him that during an investigation, something happened. She felt like bony hands going over her eyes.
Yes.
And then she attacked, but I didn't say like why she got triggered. I didn't say what happened. I didn't say, or not what happened, but I didn't say like
but he knows
details.
That something happened.
He knows that something happened. He knows she attacked him,
I'm trying to remember. Did you tell him
Um,
about the energy that surrounds her too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So he'll look at you for a moment and looks like he casts the spell quickly. His eyes sort of change a little bit.
Cool.
Interesting.
What?
Yeah,
What's
what'd you do?
interesting?
What was that? What'd you do?
They're both just like.
There is an energy around you.
Oh, you can see it too.
Yes. And the description of that book that you asked about, that symbol, and those bony hands definitely have me concerned. That there may be connections to hags or coven attached to you, Euphemia.
Oh dear.
So
Have you met a hag before? I'm talking to Euphemia, I guess. I look over like,
not that I know of.
I called a hack before, but not a real one.
This thing, I couldn't control it, and I almost killed someone. And if it happens again, what do we do?
These curses are quite difficult to deal with. I would suggest doing your best to find a way to break it.
But if something happens before we can break it, how do we stop it from? How would we do that? Do you know? She's definitely like a little bit nervous. Like she's thought about this a little bit. She's nervous about this.
Eleanor seemed to be able to calm me down last time.
How do we know it'll work? Can you give her something else so we are sure?
Perhaps I'll have to look into it and see what's possible. She does have her magic for now that can be of aid. But if it is in fact a coven that has cursed you or marked you or whatever this is some powerful magic.
what would make a coven curse someone? Like, why would they even do that? What's the point?
Why does any evil person do anything? Why does this group do it? I don't know. Every coven has their own goals, their own motivations.
I'm gonna when he like goes over to Eleonora, and I'll like go over and whisper in your ear, I'm like, did you tell him about Ram? Because I don't want to mention anything that's not supposed to be mentioned. So
I just kind of nod like.
And I'll turn it back around. Sorry, I wasn't so much my information to share, but I want to make sure you knew, I guess. But do you know who this Ram is? What his whole? That's very weird. That was very strange. I don't know anything about him.
He's the other one who could see this. That's how we figured out it was there.
Interesting. If he can see it, he may have some sort of connection to dream planes. That is
Coven's connected to dream planes. Is that why you say that?
Covens originated from the nightmare realm.
Oh.
So opposites, yeah.
Mm.
So this ram may be connected to something along that line. One side or the other. I don't know which. But
That's cool.
there may be a connection.
Honestly, that sounds-
neither.
It could be possible that it's neither. I think that would be the least likely of the three options, though.
I mean,
Based
his
off
setup
of
fee was rather horrid. Euphemia,
His
so I think we
ability
know the
to
answer.
see this. He can see this energy around you. It would make sense to me that he is connected in some way to either the dream side or the nightmare side of things.
Well, we know he's not directly involved with these hags because he didn't know what it was. Unless he was lying to you.
Yes, they may have familiars that can be in many different shapes.
Ovens can?
Yes.
Do covens ever get territorial? Go after each other? Would one be curious of another?
Most times they stay separate. It's rare you find a coven. But when you do, it's usually a very bad thing.
I suppose that would explain why so many people were not wanting to believe you either, Euphemia. It is so powerful.
Why would this entity or attachment suddenly now be so much worse? It didn't really. I mean, I just have been living for so long. Why now?
Has there been anything different you've done? Or this Ram individual? Has he done anything to you?
Well, he was trying to figure out what the attachment was.
You may have provoked it.
That was the idea, was to provoke it so we could figure out what it was.
That may be
You
why
think-
you have attention. Stomped on the hornet's nest.
Called me reckless for trying to check with something. I'm just joking. No, it's different. It's different.
Blaming a coven, bro.
I know. Sorry, that's what I said.
Why would
I'm on the same page.
But why would Ram, if it was a familiar of the coven, want to then?
He
Right.
may not be.
Why would he not know?
He may not
That's
be.
my thought, is what was his angle if he was part of a coven? I don't know. Maybe it was unintentionally
Perhaps.
provoked in that way.
It didn't sound like he knew, at least from what you said, that it was covered.
Or-
He was just intrigued.
What if the coven doesn't know that it went down to you? This curse.
Is an unintentional curse a possibility?
Well, the curse wasn't placed on you originally, right?
If I knew, I probably wouldn't be cursed.
Fair.
It's possible that there could be something that is attached to you that is a residual effect. I don't know. Again, these curses are quite powerful. I'm not sure what they're capable of in all cases. But perhaps if there is something that could have been passed down to you, that would be worth investigating.
I don't think she's gonna say anything else. I think she's pretty lost in thought at the moment. She's gonna probably just withdraw a little bit.
Kind of looks to Winifred and Dav, and then kind of you, Eleanor, as well. Anything else I can do for you this evening?
I would like to have a word alone after, but
Of course.
Are we able to ask you questions later if we have more? Like, if we build them up?
You can have
Later
Eleanor
on.
write them down in her notebook, and she can communicate them to me. She's asked me many questions over the past couple of weeks that I have been able to help her with. I can do the same going forward as well.
and now you know where my many brilliant theories come from. It's not from me, it's all him. So I'm sorry for plagiarizing you to death, but now they know.
Right. Still yours. Still a source you have. Own it.
Give credit where credit is due.
But resourcefulness is a good quality.
Thank you very much. We're all very kind.
I don't have any more direct questions, but I'm still interested in that potential deal you have. If you are interested in teaching me theory or ways I might be able to break through with this wizarding a blockage that I'm at. But better yet, do you have any questions for us? Eleanor, it seemed like you were interested in meeting us.
I have great interest in many of the things that Eleanor has communicated to me about each of you, and what has happened, what continues to happen in your lives. And I would like to help where I can. So, please continue to inform her if you have anything that is of note. Odd occurrences, feelings you have, no matter how small. Feel free to let her know so she can communicate it to me.
I know Dav looks a little oddly at Eleanor and then back, but I don't really understand what you'd be curious about with me. Everything mine with me is in the past and done with. Unless you know anything about this Azure Stone that I don't.
Do not know what that stone is. But you do have that gem in your eye for a reason.
I think it looks good.
It's a symbol of dedication to some being out there. And you could end up helping, having a connection to something that is along the lines of Dalmanet or myself. Or you could have a connection to something like that fallen angel. And I want the best for you.
Well, if it's out there, it hasn't really made itself apparent to me.
Well, let's hope it stays that way then if you don't want to see it.
Oh, I do.
That curiosity is what can lead to finding out one way or the other. And that's what could be concerning to me.
Fair enough.
All right.
Did you want to see any examples of a mishap, Death? I didn't know if you wanted to see it firsthand or not.
By all means, please.
Davil, would you like to do the honors?
Awesome. I just started dying on myself.
What did you spare the dying, you said?
Yeah, I'll just spare the dying on himself.
Alright. How do you know that's a mishap?
Yeah! It comes
First
through
try.
when you need it.
First try.
So I'm getting pretty good at triggering these.
Was just barely too, as like that brought it up to a high level, and then it was just underneath the roll I needed, so it's perfect. Let me roll for it. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that's fun. Okay. I need all of you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my gosh!
Oh boy.
Nat 20!
Nice.
Oh.
Yes.
Or a
I said that?
20.
No.
Oh boy.
12. I don't think so.
12? Okay.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
6.
What is your spell
Oh.
DC save, Dav?
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Ouch.
all three of you, what happens is you do spare the die on yourself, and you feel that energy start to enter, like that would be for like preventing any further harm to come to you. But the craziest thing happens as you do it. This black goo just starts spewing from your hand and your other hand all of a sudden, and like the joints in your armor, this black goo just like squirts out everywhere, causing yourself, Euphemia, and Winifred all to like slip off your chair and fall to the ground prone as this black liquid just is like covering
Ow.
everything.
Oh boy.
The funny thing is, I have that spell. I just took it for today, too. Oh, wait. Did it crack? And he's like checking his vials, and they're fine. He's like, ah. That was a mishap.
Yeah,
That was
right?
a mishap.
And
That was
Death's there
that.
just like wiping it off of him. And
Getting up and
oh, right. And it starts to like disappear, like disappears like in a vapor, and it's gone. But
Did not want to have to pay for that.
Oh dear, that one's rather messy.
very interesting. So it is a similar magic effect to other things that is going off in addition to what you're doing.
Sometimes, yes.
Fascinating.
Sometimes we don't even know what it does.
Want to see it again?
If you would like to do it again, you may try.
I'll cast Sanctuary on Winnie.
All right. So,
I didn't ask for this.
wow, another
Hey, take that.
mishap, even though it went down. The energy.
Takes one of his coins, throws it over, and like attaches to her. This is the Sanctuary.
All right.
It's gonna be sad for me.
We'll
He
find
loves
out.
to experiment. Patron's here. I'll take care of it.
I start puking everywhere. Stop.
Like after
Everyone
you
just utterly
had
embarrassing
fallen off the
themselves.
chair and you felt really bruised, like on your shoulder as you hit the ground.
Yeah.
You get back up, right yourself up, and all of a sudden, like you feel really bolstered by that spell that Dav did, and you get 10 temporary hit points.
Okay. Cool.
And Death just kind of is looking. Do you feel anything?
Oh, I feel great. What'd you do? What spell did you do to me?
I mean, you shouldn't feel anything. It's just Sanctuary. People have a hard time punching you.
I feel really like extra strong. Like I like fight someone right now.
Y'all felt that, right? Like the little back of the neck
yes.
thing? Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely mishap.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So it does go both positive and negative.
Yeah, some good things happen. Some very bad things happen.
This is a theory, just a thought. It may be completely wrong, but I'll leave you with this, something to think about. Imagine magic as multiple flows. All their own individual flows of magic. It almost seems like, in some ways, the flows are bleeding into each other for some reason.
I've seen that.
I'm not sure if they're crossing or if there's cracks in it that seep into others, or what that could mean. They're combining, but magic does seem to be broken in some way with combined effects. You may want to check underneath that table too. I think there's some gold over there.
Another one?
It must be a thing about this tavern. I don't understand it, but
Eleanor, you need to take him everywhere.
I'm
He
getting a
sees it all.
sense that there is some more gold underneath that table over there. As
Give
thank
a
you for the
gold
raid
sense.
as well.
It's the place to be, apparently.
From Tales
Great
from
job,
Highland, thank
party.
you so much for that raid. Oh my goodness. You just gave our party 5 more gold for that raid, so thank you so much for that. And no one died in your raid.
Rachel, are you just putting these in group party?
I will, yeah, at the end
Yeah.
we can total
Cool.
it up and I'll put it in group.
Just wasn't sure.
That's so funny.
She's keeping them all for herself.
It's all mine.
That's all.
So fun.
She's sewing gold into her.
Thank you for the raid. Thank you so much for that raid.
Thank
It
you.
was so fun.
But that's just my last kind of thought on what I'm watching, what I've heard, what I'm theorizing
And I
about.
would assume
It's
that means magically is normally contained within its own branch.
Typically, yes, magic
Yes.
is its own thing. A spell is formed from that one flow of magic.
Mark, would the way he's describing this kind of makes me think like how I saw it, like things change in nature also during the Shudder? Am I kind of reading that right? Like things just kind of got twisted, right? Like they kind of got mixed up almost.
It could be a similar feeling. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like the natural way it's supposed to be is
Right.
having something else enter into it potentially, or change it, it's
Okay.
fusing it, whatever
Yep.
that is,
Mhm.
and making it into what it is now. And that does
Right.
fit with like a
Okay.
lot of the things you guys have seen,
Mhm.
like super
Right.
like steroid squirrels. Like, that's not normal, but
Right.
potentially combining
Even just
two
stuff not-
things in a way that could be
Yeah, yeah. Even just like stuff that I've experienced with things not working how they should, like the same properties being adjusted and things like that.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I think I would just say like that's happening not just in magic. I think it's happening just in the whole, like it's happening in nature too, or in the magic of nature.
This world is built upon the convergence of magical sources. So that would make sense.
Two things. One, did you tell him about the pink lightning?
Yes.
So when we did
Did
our...
you tell him?
Okay, you're caught up. Good.
Yes.
Didn't want to leave anyone out. You know, FOMO's a real thing. So,
Oh yes.
I have it big time. Okay. Still look freaked out about that bug. Oh, paper fell on me. I
yes.
thought it was another bug.
While you're picking that up, can I just roll insight on death? Like, is he like amused by everyone? Is he like being
Sure.
tolerant? Like, what is his like mood? As especially because I've had a couple. Like,
Go
I
for it.
kind of at least know him a little bit.
Yes.
18.
You definitely are getting kind of this like sense of amusement and joy just with like the curiosities of everybody just like asking all
Okay.
these questions, and he's questioning things to himself. Like, he's really thinking about this. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just making sure. That's great.
It's almost like he wants a couch in an office for everyone to chill out and have
He just
ideas
wants
go.
someone to bring him a seashell and
Yeah.
tell him how
The
to do his
receptionists
job.
bring juices when they need a break.
text him
And he
hi all
horribly
the
skeptical
time.
of him for
Yeah.
months on end.
Wait, can I say side note? I've been joking with Mark that like what if I just wrote hi like to death in a notebook? And then Mark was like, I'm too traumatized by that. Don't ever write that.
Don't do
Just
it.
teardrops show up instead of like.
No. You're like, what's going on? Are you in the rain? He's like, yes.
Anyway, so
Oh yeah, pick lightning. Yes.
Yeah, big
Yes,
lighting.
big
Come on, focus. So I just want to validate that because when I was looking, they wouldn't let me identify it. Probably smart choice on them. But when I detected it, it seemed to not be able to connect on just one because there were many, or I was seeing all of them. That's not what the spell's designed for. So that makes sense. Two more things. One being said, do you think there's a way to configure a spell then to detect the mishap of that magic? Since the world is constructed from the convergence of that magic. Ways to interact with it more, find it, understand it. A detect mishap, I don't know. Theory craft.
Perhaps. I think with the nature of how it works, it will require a little bit of effort and understanding how to find that property, because it does seem very chaotic. So at this point, it may be difficult to narrow it down for a spell to find, but I would not say it's outside the realm of possibility.
Second, this is the second lightning bolt of this that we've heard about or discovered. Do you think this is signs of this realm cracking?
I don't know. Perhaps. I'm not sure what that could be.
Do you have any ideas on how to proceed with understanding what these are? Or if it is related? Because I'm working on a spell I'll be able to show you once we see it, like a memory. But I don't know if that's even beneficial for you or not.
I believe you four are going to be capable of some great things.
Like this guy.
I would certainly entrust in you four to cautiously investigate these.
You're one of them.
But I'm always the type of person who doesn't like when the door gets closed in his face. And what people would say is possible versus impossible. I stand where I am today because I didn't want to just accept what was given to me. But you need to be smart in how you do it, or it will get snuffed out very quickly.
Like building a fire from scratch.
Work together. I think the four of you can uncover more than what many others have been able to look for. And don't take no for answers.
I just like look between everyone. That's good advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a good ending note. I got nothing else. Can't beat that.
Well, if you'll excuse me for a moment, Eleanor wanted to speak to me. And he just like turns his eyes to you, and you just watch as all three of them just freeze in place.
What?
Yeah, he's like opening his mouth. Oh, you can change it midway. That's interesting.
What would you like to say?
Well, I just wanted to confirm the rest of the subject changed before I could get a final hold on it. The city that you were in, mass memory changes.
Yes.
Do you think the creature that is possessing my brother, is that possible to have a capability like that, or do you think that's aiming too high and it might be something lesser?
I've seen it before, and there's always ways magic can progress. I don't think anything's impossible out there.
Because everything I saw that I told you about, no one else seemed to take notice of it. No one. You have workers being worked to the bone to exhaustion, and everyone acts like that's normal.
That spell I told you about. If that is the case, it may help.
Right to their minds somehow.
Yes.
Why would that not be me, though? Wouldn't I just be under the same thing? That's what's been bothering me. I don't know if you had a thought about that.
Maybe you're stronger.
Maybe. It's not like I've had skills before this or anything, though. It's all been diplomacy and business and... you know.
I worked at a desk. Where you start doesn't matter, it's where you end up.
That's a good point. Can a spell like that go across planes?
The one that I experienced was limited to a certain aura. I'm not sure what is possible though now.
I only asked because I got word that my parents also believe his side, which surprised me because they are in Rise. And they have not seen Alexander for some time. He may have traveled, I don't know, but I know that's dangerous, so...
Well, I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of this.
Yes. Well, the insight is helpful. The only other thing I wanted to ask you is, and if you do not want to answer, you do not have to, but why is Ismaida not like you? I met Ismaida cleric, and so I did not even know if it's something that is simply a misunderstanding that I can clear things up, or if this is something to be avoided.
Her and I don't get along. And there is sort of a... less so on my end, but there's sort of a rivalry that's there. I think she's threatened by me.
Why would she be threatened by you?
I have a lot of interest in souls as well. And I was on her throne during the Shudder.
You were on her throne during the Shudder?
When she was taken, I took over.
Oh.
Briefly, momentarily. It was short. I think there's always a little bit of resentment for encroaching on her territory.
I see. You, oversaw the souls or something?
Yes.
All of them?
As those, as they came through, yes.
Did you see my late husband?
I'm not sure.
His name is Arthur Moore, so.
I would have to go look. I don't know how I'd find that out necessarily. That was a long time ago.
Can I insight that?
Sure.
Oh no, I'm gonna use my advantage die.
All right.
16.
He seems to be telling the truth to you.
All right. I'm sure it was a lot of things you were overseeing. I just was curious.
It's a lot.
All right, so probably not something that could be cleared up with a misunderstanding if there seems to be a rivalry between you and Ismita. I'm assuming.
I wouldn't mind there being peace, but I don't think she'd be up for it.
Does she think you're trying to overstep or something?
Perhaps.
Well, that was insightful. I appreciate you talking to everybody.
Of course.
They have many questions, and I thought they might enjoy it.
Questions are always good. I love inquisitive minds.
I saw you enjoy yourself out there, so I'm glad for it. I'm sorry for your loss with the plane, by the way.
Yes.
Difficult.
Especially difficult because I was never given the chance to say goodbye.
It is even worse. I at least got that courtesy for myself, but that is... Yes.
Well, I will leave you to it. I must be going. It's been great seeing you. And just like at this point, all of you kind of come back, like no time has passed for you.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
It's been wonderful
Sorry.
to be with you this evening. I do hope the best for all of you. And I will look forward to you communicating to me again, Eleonora. What is happening to you four?
Of course. Thank you.
He'll stand from the table and begin to gives like a slight nod, and then he begins to walk towards the door.
I just
Thank you.
will she just
Have a
tell me
lovely
about
evening.
the time? Okay, yeah, we'll figure times out later.
What?
Well, like a private deal thing, whatever he was saying. Oh, I'll schedule it through at Eleanor. I'm sure she'll let me know a better time.
Have a lovely evening, Death.
Good night.
You all as well. As he closes the door, and all of a sudden the blackness in the windows like dissipates. It's more like an evening color like it was before. All the people begin resuming their motion in the tavern, like no time has passed. And the four of you are left seated there after your conversation. And
So cool.
I'm guessing you guys are going to want to talk a little bit after this instead of just going to bed. So
We just go immediately to bed.
We'll probably end the session here
talking.
just because I feel like you guys are going to want to say something about this. So we'll do that next
silently
week.
part ways.
Yeah. Just all rise from your chairs and walk out.
Yes. Thank you.
Memory wipe.
Yeah, I do memory wipe on all you guys now, so there we
Perfect.
go.
So yeah, we'll end there, and we can pick this up next week. Again, our new time is 7 p.m. CST. We can continue and discuss. There was a lot of answers that were able to come out in this conversation. And some of them theories, some of them maybe really good theories. Who knows? But we'll find out as we continue our story. So we're going to sign off the recording, and then we're going to raid somebody. So thanks for joining us if you're watching on YouTube or podcast. We love y'all so much. Goodbye.